copy.
Yeah, it is exactly what you want to copy.
Keeping an eye on chat. Oh hey, they fixed the pop-out chat thing.
Oh, it works now, doesn't it?
Yes, I was able to actually pop the chat out.
That's good.
But you know, that's a plus.
Helpful.
Yep.
Jump.
Once it takes 10 minutes loading the trophies.
There. Alright, over you come. Trophies. Am I not gonna platinum? Well, that was probably long enough for us to get pinged on YouTube.
That's like 2 seconds. I think 6 is usually what you're safe at. Maybe. The most recognizable chords in music.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, we can have a look through more of the gallery while we wait.
There. I just didn't want to sit on the main menu. But not the skit library.
Alright, let's go forward this time. Beautiful T-posing him all.
That's him.
Gotta love him, right? Ooh.
Wonder when they landed on the blue.
Yeah, why didn't they land on purple?
He's got them Kingdom Hearts pants.
Mm-hmm, he
In
sure did.
in one of those designs.
He's not quite as clown shoes
No,
right now.
those are normal human shoes. Honestly, they don't look quite as clowny in this.
Yeah.
They're kind of just huge in his model, I guess.
Feet are hard.
Hello, Tomawis.
They're either stubby or they're clown shoes.
His highly designed sword.
His real dumb sword.
Really good for cutting bread and bodies.
Like, that sword hilt is really impractical.
Well, here's a few other possibilities they could have gone with.
Alright.
They really liked that, like, inverted handle design.
Yeah, yeah. Rose, thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the intro to what we're going to be doing.
Yes, your diary.
Hi, my name is Emil Darkness rated to a Scraven Way.
Beautiful. So if you haven't seen, this stream is going to be the journal. So most RPGs and Tales games in particular have story synopses that you can see. They're usually like packed away in one of the menus, but this one is actually written in first person from Emil and Marta.
Uh-huh. And we're gonna read it.
We hate ourselves, so we're gonna read it out.
Dramatic reading.
Gonna do dramatic readings for, I don't know, 2-ish hours and just kind of bullshit about the game.
Alright, well, we've stuck on these terrible sword designs for long enough. Let's go.
Emma's original name gonna be Solel? Solel and Celine.
Alright.
There you go.
Mara was way cooler back then.
Back in the day. And then
that happened. Oh boy, she used to be a jester, huh? What's with that tie?
Fascinating. That ascot.
Yeah.
That's like all of her spinners.
Yep. Alright, let's go. I want to read this journal. That's what people have paid for.
They've paid for a lot of things.
You're right. L-A-N-E-R-L Martin Tenebre's last name's last letters. I didn't even realize that. That's hilarious. That is way better than Seal. Seal was dumb and boring. Thanks for popping in. Hamstray.
A loose seal. Yeah, baby. Edgy goth Marta.
Alright, journal.
As you can see, there are 169 pages. I have no idea how many of these we will actually read.
Alright. Yeah, it's probably a scrolling down thing.
Well, it's like, I think it's each of these pages is a scroll down. And then each of these 169 pages is like a full thing. Sure does look like I'm gonna have some reading to do.
Is it? If we go down...
If you go down all the way, it stops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 169 individual pages that scroll
And scroll
up and down the thing. You can also change the chapter. So like chapter 1 is 27 pages.
Alright, this is gonna be fun. Alright, let's start.
Good lord.
Oh god, I was gonna do Emil and then Marta, but it honestly might end up being like...
Okay, they start swapping in chapter 2.
Okay, we might take turns in chapter 1, even though it's all Emil. Because otherwise, that's gonna be a lot of reading for you. And yeah, I agree, it should have been Sale. Alright, so alternate pages for chapter 1?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
I probably won't do the Sonic the Hedgehog voice yet. I'm Emil. Emil the Hedgehog. Hi, my name is Emil. I should probably tell you first that I only started writing this travel journal after I set out on my journey. I thought it might be best to make a record of what happened in Lewin as well. So I went back and wrote down everything that happened until I set out on my journey. I tried to remember as much as I could, but if I accidentally left something out, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing something like this, but I'll try to do my best. A monster's howl. Oh man, you are really going into the details, huh, buddy? It seemed like the howl was calling to me, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. Things like this are why everyone's always making fun of me. There's something wrong with me. Anyway, I couldn't stop thinking about that howl. I think I might be a furry. It sounded like the howl was coming from the fountain in the plaza, so I decided to go there myself to see.
I'm dead.
Wow, this is gonna be a play-by-play of everything. Oh, this stream is going to be highly illegal, I assure you.
What am I gonna go with?
I have no idea.
Once I got to the Fountain Plaza, I ran into Dina and Mole. They have names?
They do have names.
They have names?
Bully 1 and Bully 2.
They started teasing me like they always do. This time it's because I didn't bow to the statue of Lloyd in the plaza.
So I didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance every time I walked by the flag.
I tried to apologize to get them to leave me alone, but then a stranger helped me out. It was kind of scary. I couldn't bring myself to thank him.
But also kind of hot.
Super hot. He was the first person who'd ever helped me out when people were making fun of me. I was so happy. That's why I made up my mind to find him and thank him for what he did.
I can't believe the entire first chapter is basically written like ex post facto. I found the man who helped me in front of the mayor's house. When I tried to thank him, he gave me the harshest stare, kinda hot, and his voice was so scary that I wasn't able to say anything at all. Then the man asked me if I've seen a girl with a red jewel on her forehead. I had trouble answering him, and then he told me someone who grovels in fear of another's anger is worse than a dog. I would have said mouse, but you know, I'm not the one making the metaphor. He was pretty harsh, but I think what he said encouraged me to be stronger. He also taught me that courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
Oh my god, it's even in here! No!
Maybe I can find some courage for myself as well.
Goddamn cowardly dog. Damn it. Damn.
It's only one page at least.
It's only one page, no scroll. After that, I heard the monster's howl again. It sounded like it was coming from the lake bed of Lake Snowa. It still felt like it was calling to me.
I gotta tell you, Emil has really good, like, hearing from a distance
to
be like, oh yeah, that's exactly 5 kilometers out to the northwest.
Yeah, I'm not very good at pinpointing direction at all.
No.
Lake Snowa's water is all dried up, and it's possible to get down to the lake bed from outside of town. My aunt and uncle told me not to go outside of town on my own, but I couldn't ignore the howl. I decided to go down to the lake bed and check things out.
Tales of Symphonia 2 is good again. Awoo!
Awoo!
Wolf howl. As soon as I got to the town entrance, I ran into
That is a
Uncle
Mickey
Alba.
Mouse. It's really good.
He said that monsters showed up in Lake Sanoa's lake bed and attacked the members of the City Watch. I thought maybe the monster that was calling to me had done that, and I got a little scared. Uncle Alba told me to go home. I was really conflicted, but I couldn't just get that monster's howl out of my head. I don't think I said that right. Whatever. That's why I decided to go outside of Lewin for myself for the first time since I came here.
Because Lloyd
Just getting
killed
more
my
and more-
parents!
Just getting more and more Mickey as I go.
And it's just turning into Mickey Mouse. I don't even know what I sound like.
Probably a closer Emil.
As soon as I got down to the lake bed, a monster attacked me. I tried to run away, but I got hurt and I couldn't move.
I don't know first aids. That's a problem.
I was so scared. And it hurt so much. I thought this was the end, but then a girl saved me.
Good girl.
Her name was Marta. Marta asked me if I remembered her, which was odd because I've never met her. I told her the truth and she seemed disappointed. After that, Marta went into the cave in the lake bed, and right then I saw a red jewel on her forehead. I realized she might be the one the man in town was
The hot
looking
man.
for. The hot man. My boyfriend.
It's a hot mess.
I had to go and tell that man about Marta since he saved me after all.
And yeah, fair
She
enough.
saved him and he saved him. So Emil is constantly being saved and betraying everyone who saves him.
It's like poetry.
Yeah.
They rhyme. The full 169-page book, alright. We'll see how far in we get. We're probably just gonna be bullshitting about the story the entire time as we go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Reliving through this. Like, God, at least at the start of the story, things are more or less happening.
Why are there so many pages about the start of the story?
Right? 27
all of
pages.
that
This is literally
happened.
play-by-play.
Yeah, all of this happened over the course of, not even half an hour.
But I also guessed that the start of the game was the only time anything was actually happening.
True, you're correct, yes.
As I was coming out of the lake bed, I ran into Uncle Alba again.
He's doing Mickey Mouse because
He
it's
told
making
me
me
that
laugh.
because I knew Lloyd is a bad guy, people are starting to think that he and the Aunt Flora might be working together with the Vanguard. The Vanguard was formed by Silveranti, who felt oppressed by the Tetheolans, and then wanted to take back their rights. They said the world regeneration failed the people of Silverant. It's probably the reason why they hate the Church of Martel and Lloyd, the Chosen's right-hand man, so much. Personally, I don't think the world regeneration was a bad thing, but I can see where they're coming from, as far as Lloyd's concerned. Lloyd murdered my parents! I feel really bad that my aunt and uncle are having problems, because I feel this way, but I can't forgive Lloyd for what he did. Sorry, didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Anyway, Uncle Alba yelled at me for going to the lake bed, and I decided to go back to town and find the man I saw before.
All of this happens over the course of 10 minutes.
Yeah, we
Really?
basically beat, we went through most of the first part of the story in the very first stream, right?
Yeah. We're not even... God. Yeah, 4.76 pages. This is worse because we're an hour. We're not even an hour into the first stream and we're 8 pages
I
in.
guess by the time we get to chapter 4, there's gonna be 3 pages about a light frog, and then it's gonna be over.
Yeah, sorry, Dari. I didn't mean to ramble and take up your time.
God.
Yeah, no, we're not mentioning the Door of Darkness is a very long way in the Ganuga Gap. I found the man from before in the mayor's house. When I told the man, his name is Richter, by the way, so I could just start calling him Richter in this diary, but I think I'll still call him the man.
Ex post Richter.
I told him about Marta. He asked me to take him to her. Well, actually, I think he had to have me show the way, because I couldn't explain to him what happened. I think the man would be furious. But instead he said he was sorry for yelling at me. He's scary, and he sounds mean when he talks, but I think he's a good person, and he's super hot. Richter's also the first person who's ever really listened to what I've said since I moved to Lewin. I was so happy. To be honest, I felt a little proud to be leading Richter down to the lake bed.
If you know what I mean. God, it is really funny how, like, Richter starts out, like, really angry, but also like, all right, nope, that was wrong. Let me work through this negative feeling and explain to you why what I did was wrong, and I'm sorry.
First and last person to ever talk to and listen to Emil, yeah.
Basically.
Once we got to the lake bed, Uncle Alba started scolding me again since I hadn't done what he said and gone back home. The City Watch gave me the nastiest look, like I was a piece of garbage. I was really scared. Then Richter stood up for me, just like he did the time with Dita and Maul.
I still can't believe they have names.
It was the first time anyone had ever stood up to Uncle Alba for me. I was so happy I almost felt like crying. I knew it was dangerous, but I decided to follow Richter into the lake bed cave. I felt like I could count on him to keep me safe, and he even said he'd bail me out if I got into trouble. The cave in the lake bed was packed full of monsters. I was really, really scared, but Richter showed me how to fight them, and I did the best I could. And I kinda sucked, cause pre-Ratatosk Emil, oh, it ain't good. It ain't good at all.
We found a strange door deep in the cave. On top of that, a strange voice came from somewhere, and I felt like I was about to lose it.
I'm seriously at my limit, guys.
And then Richter told me to wait in front of the door and went in by himself, and I did it because, well, when someone tells me what to do, I just do it. That was when I heard Marta scream.
Awoo.
There were lots of monsters in the cave, so I was worried that one of them attacked her. I mean, if Marta hadn't rescued me, I would have died. But since Richter was on the other side of the door, maybe he was getting attacked too.
I like how that's also, like, part of the notes there. What if Richter's in danger?
What if my boyfriend's in trouble? I panicked and wasn't sure what to do. I was really scared, but I summoned up the courage to turn dreams into reality and decided to go through the door.
Have you read the line?
After all, courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality.
So that's the second time in the journal. Number 2, we should probably keep account
Oh
of
my
this.
god, I need to keep counter. Alright, yeah, where's my notepad?
You know, it's kind of funny thinking back to this, because this was totally pointless. If Richter had killed Marta there, nothing would have changed.
Yeah.
Because Marta was basically a MacGuffin.
Yeah,
A fake MacGuffin at that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't actually Ratatosk's core in her head.
Yep.
Emil had already hatched.
On the other side of the door, Marta and Richter were fighting. Oh no! I had no idea what was going on between them at the time, so I was just confused. I mean, both of them saved my life, and now they were fighting. That's bullshit. I tried desperately to stop them. This was the first time I heard Ratatosk's name. Richter said he was going to kill Marta because she was trying to awaken Ratatosk, a demon lord. Then Marta said that Ratatosk is actually the lord of all monsters, and he won't destroy the world. It was all very confusing.
I'm such a confused boy.
It was pretty confusing,
I'm so
yes.
confused.
While I was trying to stop them from fighting, Marta got away and ran deeper into the cave. Richter got a monster named Aqua to stop me, voiced by Wendy Lee. Then he went after Marta. I learned after that Aqua's actually a centurion, not a monster. I didn't want Richter and Marta to fight with each other, so I tried to beat the monster that Aqua summoned, but it was too strong for me.
I didn't want my boyfriend and girlfriend to beat each other up.
Basically.
Uh-huh. That was when I first met Tenebrae. Tenebrae's a jackass with the power to command monsters to be his servants. He told me I had to become a knight of Ratatosk in order to borrow Ratatosk's power to fight. I didn't really understand what's going on, and I never do. All I could think of was about how Ratatosk was the demon lord they were fighting over, and how scared I was to make a pact. But the one thing that seemed certain was that the only way to resolve the situation I was in was to become a knight of Ratatosk, and that's a lot of fucking words!
It's a lot of words and
That's
also
a lot of
complete
words.
bullshit. Absolutely nothing on this page is true.
No!
I mean, I guess Tenebrae as a centurion is a true statement and
Yes.
a jackass.
Yeah, the jackass, yes.
In the end, I made a pact to become a Knight of Ratatosk / Keyblade Master.
God, why are there 2 pages for
Yeah,
this?
right?
Though it wasn't exactly clear if I'd made the pact with Tenebrae or Ratatosk himself. Anyway, after I made the pact, an unbelievable power welled up inside me, and I was able to beat the monster Aqua was controlling. It seemed like the only time Ratatosk's power would appear was when I fought, and he was a real jackass. I decided to use this newfound power to go after Marta and Richter.
You know, I would do a Goofy or a Donald voice, but I
No.
can't do either of those.
Definitely not a Donald one. We have a podcast to do after this.
We die.
I'm choosing something that goes easy on my vocal cords here.
As I went after Marta and Richter, Tenebrae told me about packs with monsters and all
Tenebrae gave me a
sorts.
tutorial.
Yes, it was a bunch of tutorials. Then we discovered Richter lying defeated in the middle of the path.
Actually, there is one plot point before this that's more important. We captured Baz.
we found Baz in a cave. I was so surprised. Before he lost consciousness, he told me he'd be beaten by Lloyd Irving. This made me hate Lloyd even more. Lloyd hurt the man who saved me and was trying to kill the other person who saved me, but don't worry about that. It's not important. Why was he always hurting the people most important to me?
Like my parents, which he cool.
He killed my parents! I decided to go and get Aqua in order to help Richter. Tenebrae went on ahead after Marta, afraid she might be killed by Lloyd. I was worried for Marta too, but I couldn't just abandon someone who was lying in front of me injured like that.
I like how, like, on one hand, this is supposed to show that Emil's, like, really compassionate and Richter's the first person to show him kindness. On the other hand, it's really obvious he's super into Richter and not really all that much into Marta. Like, every time he has a choice at the start of this game, he chooses Richter over Marta.
Every time he has a choice, full stop.
Basically,
he picks Richter
yeah.
over Marta.
I went back to get Aqua and told her what happened to Richter. She agreed to go back with me. Aqua seemed worried when I mentioned that Lloyd had showed up. I wonder how Lloyd and Richter know each
We're still in
other.
the first stream.
I know.
We're 15
pages in, and it's all on the first stream.
We're still in the first stream.
When we got back to Richter, Aqua took him with her and left. At this point, I had no choice but to leave Richter's well-being in Aqua's hands. I decided to hurry after Marta.
Hurry.
Yeah,
Hurry.
took a leisurely stroll. Tenebrae said Lloyd was trying to kill her, and Marta had saved my life. I was finally powerful enough to help her. I was really scared, but I knew I had to try my best to be brave.
At this point, is he remembering what he does in Ratatosk mode or not?
God knows.
Deep inside the cave, I came across something like an altar. Marta was there fighting someone. I immediately knew who her opponent was. I recognized him from the statue in the Fountain Plaza.
And his giant jutty
All
chin.
of the emotions that bottled up exploded out of me. The brutal murder of my mom and dad, and the merciless attacks on Palma Costa. It was because of that I was taken in by my uncle and Lewin and ostracized by the entire Lloyd-obsessed village. Now Lloyd was even trying to kill Richter and Marta.
My boyfriend and
I was
girlfriend.
filled with bitterness, sadness, and anger. My feelings overwhelmed all of my senses. Before I knew it, Lloyd
This
and
is
I were
going to be the
fighting,
secret
but
bonus
Lloyd
8-hour
was
marathon
really
stream,
tough.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I...
Thank you, Serena.
And his Marta and I just weren't strong enough to beat him.
He was too high level for us.
We ended up losing to Lloyd and I passed out. He didn't finish us off, but when I came to, the white jewel that we on top of the altar was gone. According to Marta, the white jewel is Centurion Lumen's core, and finding it is essential to her and Tenebrae's journey. I understand just how important it is now. Back then I had no idea why something like that could be so important to Marta. Anyway, there wasn't much point in staying there, so we decided to team up and leave the cave together.
God, I like all these random parentheticals that are like, by the way, this is being written in the past for some
Yeah.
reason. It doesn't
Yeah.
bring anything in because
No.
like you're getting these journal entries as you go along. I think I don't quite remember.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess these ones, like the first chapter ones in particular, it feels weird to get like journal entries written in the past 1 page at a time. So I'm wondering if it was even available at
But
the
you
start.
have to be, because otherwise what's the point? The synopsis is there to tell you what
Yeah.
happened when you leave. It's not there for the whole first chapter.
This
What's
whole
the point?
writing like style is so weird. Aha! Winner!
When we tried to leave the cave, the door was sealed. Maybe Lloyd did it. Tenebrae guessed that there was a hidden path somewhere, so we searched for another exit.
I have no
God.
idea what voice I'm gonna do for Marta.
Why
by the
did
way.
we do, like, why did we write a thing for this? Because it was just a switch behind the wall, and the next entry is gonna tell us about the fucking switch behind the poster.
Yeah? We discovered a ridiculous looking poster on one of the walls that looked like Lloyd had put it
Shit.
up. 18. Yeah. It said, Jewel Hunter Lloyd Irving has arrived.
What a jackass.
I used the sorcerer's ring and I didn't mention I got in this cave earlier to burn it. And we discovered a hidden passage behind it. When it was too late. Tenebrae said he could no longer feel any sign of Lumen's core in the cave. It was too late to follow Lloyd. But I wonder why Lloyd stole the Centurion's core in the first place. Marta said that the Centurion's cores are the eggs
Delicious
of the Centurions.
eggs.
Like Tenebrae and Aqua, here's an egg at this trying time. Centurions apparently turn into jewels once they go to sleep, so maybe Lloyd is trying to collect the Centurions. There were many other things I wanted to know about, but we decided to wait until we'd gotten out of the cave to talk about them.
Can't do a plot dump in a cave. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna be great when you get Emma Tosk's, journal entries.
The hidden passage was connected to the ruins of the Tower of Mana. The Tower of Mana is a historical site for the Church of Martel.
Please do Marta as Amy Rose Rouge.
Oh no, Tomois.
Oh no, I'm... Oh.
The Tower of Mana is a historical site for the Church of Martel, and it was destroyed 2 years ago around the time of the World Regeneration by the Giant Tree Rampage. They say that Lloyd's the servant for the Church of Martel's Chosen One, who was responsible for the World Regeneration. It makes sense that he could have used the Church of Martel's knowledge to sneak into the ruins and steal Lumen's core. According to Tenebrae, Lloyd got away, free and clear. Maybe that was for the best. I wasn't any match for Lloyd in battle, even after borrowing Gravitas' power.
Yeah, because he was level 50.
Because he was level 50, which we took on some fights we probably shouldn't have beforehand. I wonder what the journal's going to say about those.
Yeah.
We didn't know where Lloyd had gone, so there was no use returning in the ruins any longer. We decided remaining in the
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
We decided to head back to Lewin.
Marta and Tenebrae told me about all sorts of things on the way back to Lewin. At the time, I didn't really understand everything they were telling me, but I'll still write down everything they said here. Oh my god, do I have to?
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna read this in a normal voice. Actually, I know what voice I'm gonna read this in. God, I wish I could do a Tenebrae voice. Who can do a Tenebrae voice?
The world that we live in. Is that any good? I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I can't do Tenebrae, I'm trying to think. The world we live in is one that was created anew by the World Regeneration 2 years ago. Up until then, the world was divided into two, Silverant and Tathayala. But they weren't two different countries, they were two different worlds.
Different world.
We Silveranti didn't even know about the world of Tathayala, and it seems the Tathayalans didn't know of Silverant either. Tenebrae explained that long ago, a giant tree that produced mana, the source of all life, withered, and the planet was in danger of dying out entirely. At the time, the hero Mythos and the goddess Martel divided the world in two in order to prevent its destruction.
Oh god.
A long time later, the world of Silverant fell into danger of dying out again. So the Church of Martel's Chosen of Regeneration set out on a journey to regenerate the world. At the end of her journey, a new tree to produce mana was planted. And once again, the two worlds were reunited as one.
Woo!
We Silveranti were suddenly brought face to face with the Tethialans, and the people of the two societies were abruptly forced to live together in a single world. This was the world regeneration. The world regeneration was the beginning of a lot of unrest between the Silveranti and the Tethialans. There are frequent disputes and conflicts between the two sides across the world. While the world was divided into Ratatos, the lord of all monsters.
I'm so sorry.
Was sleeping. You're getting the next two for this. Ratatos used his servants, the Centurions, to control the world's monsters, who maintained the balance of the world's mana. While the world was divided in two, the goddess Martel oversaw the balance of mana. But now that the two worlds have become one, Ratatos must wake up and control the world's mana himself. However, Ratatos is still in a deep sleep.
About that.
Thanks to that, mana has fallen out of balance.
God, that part's like just a complete fabrication, huh?
Yeah.
Like he was just chilling.
Yeah. Strange weather and natural disasters are occurring all over the world. And monsters have cut ties with the Centurions they served and now run wild because they didn't run wild in the last game.
I guess so.
The only way to fix all this is to awaken Ratatos and restore the balance of mana.
Oh God.
Ratatos himself was in a dormant state, which is to say that he's currently in the form of a core. Ratatos' core is the jewel in Marta's forehead, and Marta also wants Ratatos to awaken so she can remove the why, my god, why? This is redundant. However, Ratatos can't wake up until we first wake all of the Centurions who serve him.
Look, no one ever said that Emil was the most concise writer in the world.
Yeah, right? This is the reason that Marta and Tenebrae are on a journey to find all of the Centurions' cores. The problem is that Ratatos and the Centurions' cores possess unbelievable power!
Infinite power!
Even when in a dormant state. For this reason, it seems that lots of people with various motives are trying to get the cores in order to use their power.
She's really emoting here with her hands.
You can't
Oh
see
no,
it.
Loon, why?
No!
You have no idea what you just put these people into.
Richter and Royd are two such people, and apparently Richter was originally in possession of Ratatosk's core. Their explanation still left me with a lot of questions, like how Marta got the core to begin with, or why it's stuck in her forehead.
All fair questions.
Alright.
Oh, fuck you, Emil.
Okay, I cut a little long, but I think that should sum it up. I mean, that works, right? It didn't really seem right that Richter would be ignoring all of the natural disasters in the world and going after Ratos's core for his own desires, but it didn't seem like Marta and Tenebrae were lying either. So all of this left me a little confused.
Tales of Symphonia 2. All of this left me a little confused.
So for everyone that just joined, we beat Tales of Symphonia last week, and now we're reading the journal.
God help us. Emil is a wordy motherfucker.
He is a wordy motherfucker.
This is the first thing that I get from this.
You're doing the next two.
Fair enough.
Soon after we got back to Lewin, Tenebrae told me something that worried me. Because Centurions can't control their own power while in the core state, not only do they make nature around them go haywire, they can also attract monsters and make people who go hold cores go crazy. That must be why there are so many monsters in the lake bed cave. I guess Centurions' cores are pretty scary things. So much had happened that I thought it'd be a good idea to report back to the mayor. Marta insisted on coming with me for some reason, not like I minded her, it's not like I don't like her or anything.
Baka.
The two of us, well, three of us if you count Tenebrae, headed to the mayor's house.
Hey, count Tenebrae, you fucker.
As we were about to go into the mayor's house, a vanguard named Hawk suddenly appeared with his soldiers and
We
attacked
are
us.
still in the first stream.
This is still, all of this is still the first stream.
We're still not 2 hours into this game yet.
And we're 22 journal pages
22
in.
journal pages.
I cannot wait to how much this glosses over towards the end. Like, they just wrote it all for the first chapter and were like, well, shit, this is way too much. We're gonna have to tighten it up.
It seems the vanguard's looking for Ratatosk's core as well. Actually, it seems that the vanguard used to be in possession of Ratatosk's core. How is that possible? Didn't Richter used to have it? Or maybe the vanguard had it before Richter did.
God, he's thinking so much about this when there's a really obvious solution here.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Anyway, at the time, I didn't have time to ponder. Come on, Emil.
You suck. You suck,
Don't use the
Emil.
word time that close together. To ponder about these things, I was too distracted by the discovery that Marta was
hell
actually
yeah,
a member
I'm
of the
so looking
vanguard.
forward to the riveting tale of the Light Frog.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, the vanguard is building up an army to oppose the Church of Martel. We somehow managed to slip away from the vanguard and decided to run away.
We ran and ran, but the Vanguard showed up and eventually caught us in the Fountain Plaza. That's when the Martel Knights appeared. Oh, it's actually the Vanguard, though, by the way.
Vanguard, but in a slightly different clothing.
Yeah. Their commander, a man named Magnar.
Magnar.
Cut down the Vanguard members mercilessly, then told us to give them Ratatosk and the Centurion's core. Even the Church of Martel is trying to get the cores.
Not really, they're a non-entity.
Yeah, it's actually just the Vanguard here. Of course, Marta refused to give them anything. Magnar then told us if we didn't give him what he wanted, Lewin would suffer the same fate as Paula Costa. Oh my god, I'm getting the awful entry.
Oh no! Oh no!
You keep doing this to me.
Hey, you said I'm what I should do too.
Answer to you three.
You stepped right into that bear trap.
I know. That was when I first learned the truth about the Blood Purge. Blood Purge! Where Palma Costa was attacked by the Church of Martel, actually the Vanguard, never mind. And my parents and many others were brutally murdered. They weren't my parents, but never mind. I believe the attack occurred because the Vanguard was holding a meeting in Palma Costa.
It was dumber.
And that was indeed correct.
No, it wasn't.
However, the purpose of that meeting was so they could launch a rebellion against the Church of Martel by using Ratatosk's core. Lloyd then led the Martel Knights into the city under the pretext of quelling the rebellion. Well, the real reason was they planned to steal Ratatosk's core. That's not actually the real reason. Don't fucking... And they killed many innocent people. My parents never did anything to deserve what happened to them.
Emil's parents did nothing wrong.
They never did explain why his mom thought he was Emil.
No.
Because we never met the real Emil.
No.
And apparently Ratatosk is nothing like him.
Yeah.
We eventually managed to get away from the Martel Knights thanks to Tenebrae's quick wits, and we decided to stay outside town for the time being until I decided to send Marta to her death. Spoilers.
Jeez, like, why is this not 2 pages?
I don't know. Soon after we got out of the town, we heard Magnar's voice. He said that unless the people in town brought Marta to him, he would punish the town for the crime of treason against the Chosen. In other words, the town of oh god, we know this already. Fuck off.
In other words...
About this time, I had was swimming with thoughts I now consider quite selfish. Everyone in the town of Lewin hated me and thought I was a Vanguard sympathizer. If another blood purge took place in Lewin, the town would lynch me.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be dead.
So I blamed Marta. I said to her that Palma Costa was attacked because she and the Vanguard were plotting a rebellion, and now Lewin was gonna be attacked too. Marta agreed with everything I said. She went...
Marta.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect.
She went back into Lewin to hand over Ratatosk's core. Right then, Tenebrae told me I just sent Marta to her death.
Someone should probably have mentioned that.
He told me that the core Marta's head couldn't be removed. Wait a minute, how come it couldn't be removed until Ratatosk awakened? Because Ratatosk is awake.
Well, I guess it's because they have to keep the charade going or something.
So
I don't understand why Tenebrae didn't just tell him, though, at this point.
Like, why would removing it kill her, though, if it's fake?
Well, I think that's all just a lie.
Alright.
I think the entire, like, first chapter of this game is based on a complete lie that the game never addresses.
God, where was I? Overtake Marta's life. Marta knew that fact, and she went to deliver Ratatosk's core to Magdar anyway, because she'll literally do anything I tell her, because...
It's a bit weird. She's actually pretty into me.
God knows why.
For some reason.
Who knows? Is this still going? How is this still going? Mickey Mouse it.
There's no doubt that the Vanguard's attempted rebellion is what triggered the Blood Purge. But Lloyd and the Church of Martell are the ones who attacked Palma Costa and killed scores of innocent people. Rip.
That was it.
What's more, Marta had saved my life, and now she was planning on giving up her own for a town she hardly knew. As a member of the Vanguard, she could have just joined up with them again and explained that the core couldn't be removed from her forehead.
But the game never explains the core. It never
No,
explains
it never comes
why,
back around.
And why Emil was mistaken for Emil by a dying woman. Like, it
All
never
of that is
explains
just first act shit that once the twist hits, doesn't matter.
It's apparently just a complete coincidence.
Yup. Basically.
Alright, you got the next one?
All this made me realize. All of this made me realize that Marta wasn't a bad person after all. That's why I decided to go after Marta and save her.
Oh, the voices are probably gonna end at some point.
Made me realize.
Well, at least you won't have to do whiny Emil. Anyway.
I still don't know what I'm gonna do for Marta. I'm gonna have to do...
You got about 3 pages.
I've got to do something unbearably perky, but I'm not sure I have an unbearably perky.
You're not sure if you can make yourself unbearably perky.
I'll give it a shot. I'll try it, Amy, you know?
When we got to the Fountain Plaza, Marta had been captured by the Martell Knights. What's more, they went back on their promise and started attacking Lewin, the fucks. What a dirty bunch of goons! I can't believe liars like them think they can do whatever they want just because the Chosen One performed world regeneration. Before I knew it, I lost control of myself.
Oh, no, now, this has got to be... You know what this has got to be?
Ratatosk.
This paragraph right here.
Before I knew it, I lost control of myself. I defeated the Martell Knights and even beat Magnar. Even after I'd beaten Magnar, I still wanted to teach him a lesson. In the end, Marta managed to stop me.
And bring me back to my senses. But I ran away from the Fountain Plaza in shock at what I'd done.
I'm not sure how well I can keep up the Shadow the Hedgehog voice, but we'll see.
It was very, very good. Alright. After this, the townspeople all treated me like a monk. Wait, what do you mean after this?
Right? That seems
What do you
just
mean
like a
after
continuation.
this? They always treated him like a monk.
That's just normal.
Fled when they saw me coming. Even Diva and Maul ran away from me. Everyone in the town saw me as the villain.
You murder a few knights of the Church of Martell and everyone thinks you're the bad guy.
I was at a loss for words when Marta came and told me the mayor wanted to talk to me. Preparing myself for the worst, I made up my mind to go see the mayor.
Alright, this should be the end of chapter 1, finally.
Whoa.
This, I think we finished right around here last time, or did we finish all of chapter 1?
We finished most of chapter 1. In the
Yeah, I
first
can't
stream,
remember
yeah.
if we finished on the double personality Emil or if
Yes.
we went to see the mayor.
Oh, God, I honestly don't remember.
Yeah,
It might have been just before the mayor. I don't remember.
yeah. Anyway.
Uncle Alma and Aunt Flora were in front of the mayor's house. As soon as Uncle Alma saw me, he yelled that I was a monster, and I couldn't deny his words. After all, I really had acted like a monster. The mayor asked me to look for Lloyd. He said he didn't believe that the recent atrocities carried out in the village by the Martell Knights were done on Lloyd's orders. And if Lloyd's personality had changed enough to allow him to do something like that, he wanted to know what had changed him so much and why he was looking for Ratatosk's core. The mayor wanted me to find the answers to those questions. But really, it was nothing more than a nice way of telling me to fuck off. Yet the mayor himself realized that the only way to protect me from the prejudices of the townspeople was by making me leave. I thought that I didn't have a single friend left in the entire town, so hearing the mayor still cared about me made it slightly better. But I would have been so much happier if, instead of being told that I should leave town, I was told that it was okay for me to stay.
Why would you want to stay?
Right? Fuck that. When I was about to leave town, Marta and Tenebrae followed me. Marta told me she wanted to travel with me. I couldn't believe it. After all the mean things I said to her, and the fact that I'd forgotten meeting her in Palmacosta, she still wanted to travel together, even though
Yeah,
I'm
you're right. This journal essentially forgets that Emil doesn't remember what he does in Ratatosk mode.
But Marta didn't blame me for what had happened. She actually blamed herself for putting me in that situation, and she told me she wanted to travel with me because she thinks I'm brave and hot. I had no idea what I would do out in the world by myself, so hearing Marta say all those things made me really happy. It was then that I realized that even though I was scared, I took the first step.
Oh no!
And maybe
It's
that
back!
was
It's back!
courage, after all. Maybe a series of small steps can add up so dreams turn into reality. That counts.
That counts.
Count
That's
it.
3. That's 3. We're up to 3.
Maybe that's what Richter was talking about. As we left Lewin, Marta said we could start off as friends, but I realized I had made my first friend ever since I left Palmacosta. I think she was hitting on me. I had dreamed of having a friend for so long. With my own silly excuse for courage, I had managed to make my dream come true.
Does that count?
Not really. Ish. It's so close.
I call that half.
So, Marta, Tenebrae, and I set out on a journey to awaken Ratatosk's core. Our path would no doubt cross with that of Lloyd, who was also seeking the cores. Thank you for putting that in there, I guess. Alright, Marta, let's go find those cores!
Alright.
Good luck.
Hi, this is Marta. Thanks for agreeing to exchange diaries with me. Oh, oops, it's not a diary, it's a travel journal, right? Well, whatever. I'm happy and I get to write in your journal a bit, heart. Emma wrote in the first entry how he was going to try and sum up everything that had happened since the beginning of his story, and I thought he might not be able to remember very much of it, but he was super detailed. I was really surprised. Now I have to write everything in super detail too.
No! Please, no.
I guess a travel journal is supposed to be like that. Well, now we're in the same Asgard. The city's famous for its murals, as well as a monument called the Stone Dais. I'm gonna call it the Dais.
The days.
Because that's what they call it in the game. I hope Lloyd decides to stop by Asgard while we're here. I mean, even if we're looking for the Centurion's cores, we don't have any clue about where to find them. So our only choice is to follow Lloyd and snag the cores before he gets them. It seems like he's always just...
How come Marta's even more long-winded? No!
Oh well, there's no use writing all of my doubts and gripes in here. Let's go and ask Asgard's mayor if he knows anything about where Lloyd is.
I love how we went around asking the mayor of every town. Like, just visit in and stop by the mayor's house.
Walking around Asgard, I noticed there aren't as many tourists here as I thought there were last time I came. It feels lonely. And the buildings all over the city all seem run down, like they've aged. We were talking about how it might be the wind that's causing it when Emil ran into a man who was kinda handsome. But Emil's a million times more handsome, heart. It seemed like the man noticed Tenebrae even though he was hidden. It's very strange.
The game plays very fast and loose with that.
Yeah, most people can't see a Centurion who's hiding after all. I don't know who he was, but maybe we should be more careful around him if we run into him again.
Oh dear. Marta gets like 8 pages of text.
Oh boy, right, we're gonna have to switch. Alright.
Oh boy.
What are you gonna do for Mara?
Oh, Jesus. The mayor wasn't at home. We decided what to do when all of a sudden, I thought I heard a monster's howl, and a huge gust of wind started blowing. I thought I was going to be blown away by the wind. Then my sweet Prince Emile saved me. He grabbed onto my hand and protected me from that harsh, evil wind. He's so strong. Thank you, Emile. I love you, heart. It wasn't safe for us to stay outside with all the wind, so we decided to take shelter in the cave with murals on the walls. We held hands the whole time. I was scared of the wind, but I couldn't stop smiling. Once we were safe in the mural cavern, we talked about possible reasons that the wind had gotten so strong. Asgard has always had strong winds, but apparently these sorts of violent gusts only started after the world regeneration. Then Emil suggested that there might be some reason why the wind got so strong all of a sudden while we were outside. Come to think of it, the wind wasn't that strong when we first got to Asgard, and the strong winds only started once we got near the mayor's house. I think Emile's right. There must be some reason the strong winds started when they did. Emile is really awesome.
So awesome.
He's so strong but modest. He's really observant.
He's just the best.
Even though it's just the two of us traveling, he never tries to take advantage of me. I can't believe I just wrote that. He's such a gentleman.
Heart.
After we'd been talking for a while, the wind seemed to die down a bit. Then Tenebrae mentioned that he'd heard some sort of commotion outside. If there were people outside, that would mean we could ask them about Lloyd. So we started to go out and see what the commotion was.
The cause of the commotion turned out to be the Vanguard, and not just anyone. It was one of their top officers, Alice, who's in charge of the Vanguard's combat unit. She's a crazy sadist, and she was bullying one of her subordinates, Hawk. I sort of feel sorry for Hawk.
But not
well,
really.
Moving on, it seemed like Alice and her goons
Anyway,
were looking for the Chosen of Regeneration, Colette. The Chosen Colette is this famous person who regenerated the world, and she's the sort of person I think would definitely know where Lloyd is. So we need to find the Chosen and ask her where Lloyd is before Alice and the Vanguard can get to her.
winky face.
Winky face. If you want me to continue, I can keep going.
Feel free, I guess.
We found the Chosen Colette in one of the houses in Asgard. As soon as I saw the Chosen's face, I couldn't help but ask her the question that had assigned me for so long. I had to find out the truth about the rumor that the Chosen had tried to run away from the task of world regeneration, causing a giant tree to appear and destroy Costa.
Oh no, here comes the history lesson.
2 years ago, before the world regeneration, an incident known as the Giant Tree Rampage occurred in Silveran. That's what we call it. Although apparently the Church of Martel is a different name for what happened. Basically, a giant tree monster appeared and started rampaging through Silveran. This giant tree monster attacked Costa too, and the city was destroyed. Many people died in the attack, and still countless townspeople unaccounted for. My mother was one of the people who died in that attack. For that reason, I always wanted to ask the Chosen if the giant tree rampage really happened, because she was trying to run away from her responsibility of world regeneration. The Chosen confirmed my fears.
Asterisk.
As soon as I learned the rumor was true, I became furious. And before I knew it, I was blaming the Chosen for everything that happened, and I ran out of the house. After I ran out, I think Tenebrae told Emile about how I traveled to get on my father after my mother died. And then I think Emile came out to look for me, because he was worried about me.
God, we're nearly an hour in and we're only in chapter 2 right now.
We're hooked.
Yup.
Alright, your turn.
After a while,
No, not quite.
That's Mickey Mouse.
After a while, Emile found me outside. Even though I had gotten all angry and shown him a really dark side of myself, Emile was understanding and didn't blame me at all. I really think Emile's an amazing person. Emile was also living in Costa, so he must have experienced the giant trees rampage too, right?
No.
Right?
No.
Am I right?
No.
Even so, he didn't blame the Chosen at all. He's a very forgiving person. I'm not as forgiving. My mom died along with a lot of people who were very close to me, so it was very hard for me. I know that if the Chosen hadn't regenerated the world, then I might have died too, but that still didn't stop my hatred for her. The reason I was in the Vanguard wasn't because the Chosen had regenerated the world. It was because I couldn't forgive her for destroying Palmacosta in the journey of world regeneration. But somehow in my heart, if the Chosen told me the rumors of her trying to run from her responsibility weren't true, then I would have been able to forgive her. Or even if I couldn't forgive her, I might at least have been able to come to terms with what happened.
This is bullshit, Mark.
It's such crap.
Why is she so goddamn wordy?
But the Chosen told me that the rumors were true. I guess I was really sad to hear that. But I would have preferred that she lied to me, to tell me that she had never even tried to run away. Then again, I might have gotten her mad I might have gotten mad that she had lied. I don't know what I want.
Whoa, you can't have your characters just tell you how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
While Emil and I were talking, a soldier from the Vanguard called out to us. He told us that the Vanguard's looking for the Chosen of Regeneration, since she's a Silveranti traitor who is sympathetic to the Tethealan people. I knew if I told him where the Chosen really was, she would stop and end up in a lot of trouble, so I lied and didn't tell him where she was. I still can't forgive the Chosen, but I want to beat her up. But what the Vanguard's done recently is even harder to forgive. The Vanguard has lost all of its founding ideals, and it's nothing more than a military force now. Ultimately, it turned out that the Chosen didn't know where Lloyd was. We decided to get away from the Vanguard and head to Palmacosta.
As we started to leave Asgard, a little boy showed up and stopped us. He saw me fighting with the Chosen, and he came to tell me I was wrong for doing that. I knew it wasn't right to get mad at a child like him, but I was still mad from what happened, and I couldn't hold my anger. As the boy and I were arguing, we heard a sound like a monster's howl again. And then a strong wind started blowing, and the wind blew the boy away.
I forgot about that.
That was so funny. We hurried and went after the boy to save him. The boy was about to fall off a cliff, and when I stretched out my hand to help him, I almost fell too. And then Alice, the Vanguard officer, showed up and tried to push the two of us off the cliff. I hate her so much.
Ugh.
I thought we were goners for sure. And then out of nowhere, Colette appeared and saved us. Thanks to her help, we managed to get away from Alice. But to be honest, I wasn't entirely sure why she did all that. I mean, I said all those mean things to her. I was so bitchy. So bitchy. Maybe she was just trying to save the boy who had defended her, but I feel like that's not all there was to it. That's why I told Emil that I wanted to see the Chosen one more time. Even if she was responsible for my mother's death, she did save my life, so I felt like I felt really bad if I didn't thank her.
That's just politeness.
Emil was so understanding. I'm sorry I'm always acting so selfish, Emil, but I love that you're so nice to me anyway.
God, it is incredible how we get through chapter 1, which was stupidly wordy and full of dumb plot stuff, and somehow chapter 2 ends up being even more.
Yeah, how did...
The Chosen Colette was in front of the mayor's house. When Emil and I thanked the Chosen, she became incredibly happy. Said something about us being friends from now on, or else. How could she think that? That's not something you say to someone who just called you a coward earlier in the same day. I don't think she can remember that far back.
No.
At the mayor's request, the Chosen was making plans to investigate the source of all the strong winds in Asgard. The mayor told us that 2 years ago, during the journey of world regeneration, an imposter of the summoned spirit of wind appeared on Asgard's stone dais and caused a lot of problems for the town. Caused trouble for the neighborhood. It seems that they thought that might have something to do with all the recent winds in town. I wanted to believe that the Chosen was a good person, and I wanted to repay her for saving me. That's why I decided to help her. I said so without asking Emil first, but he immediately told me he would help too. He's such a nice guy, TM. The Chosen readily accepted our offer to help. We all set out together towards the stone dais on the far end of town.
Isn't she the nice guy?
TM?
Yeah, I mean, she's the one hanging on, like... Right, I think we might end up just alternating pages, honestly, because
Potentially.
There does seem to be big chunks where it's one or
Yeah.
the other. Looking at the stone dais, nothing about it seemed out of the ordinary.
Just your classic stone days.
Hell yeah. While I wasn't paying attention, Colette suddenly fell in my direction. She shoved me. I thought she had tripped, but then I saw a bird monster flying through the air right where I'd been standing. Colette had saved me, though it's possible she really had tripped on accident. We
Yeah.
tried to defeat the monster, but our attacks weren't working at all, and it just blew us away. Tenebrae, why has that got a comma?
Tenebrae, said the monster.
Tenebrae said that the monster we fought was called a Garuda, and it's protected by a membrane that's like a protective barrier. He said the only thing that can pierce its membrane is the claw of a winged dragon.
Stop writing membrane.
Right? Membrane. When Tenebrae said that, Colette said she had encountered winged dragons before. She knew someone who tamed them in Haima. We decided to go to Haima to find that man and borrow a dragon from him. But Colette really confuses me. When I'm together with her, I find it really hard to imagine her as the cowardly chosen who tried to run from her duty of world regeneration. I'm starting to think the rumors are just that. Rumors, even though she told me it was true.
Trumors.
Rumors.
This is Emil. I'd just like to say, I think it's okay for you to believe things as you see them. I'm not totally sure, but Colette seems like a good person to me. So much so that it's hard to believe she was ever Lloyd's friend. Alright, back to the travel journal.
How are we 35 pages in and we're like nowhere in the story?
We're like 2 streams in. Well, that's the key, though. Nothing ever happened.
That's true, nothing happened. You're right.
When we got to Haima, the town was overrun with monsters. The townspeople who were were still there, but there were so many more monsters. I was too scared for words. The way things were, we were worried about the safety of the dragon tamer. But we hurried and tried to find him. When we got to the highest point in Haima, Colette told us that the dragon tamer was right around there the last time she came. However, all that was there now was a ferocious monster. The monster attacked us. Maybe it thought we were food. After we finally defeated the monster, a young winged dragon that had flown away from the monsters returned. Tenebrae translated the dragon's words for us. Or maybe it's better to say he translated the dragon's emotions.
My
I'm
God.
not entirely sure how dragons
This is
communicate.
unimportant, Emil.
The monsters we defeated had eaten most of the dragons, and by killing the monster, we had avenged their deaths. The young dragon wanted to thank us for this, so we asked her to help us fight the Garuda. Though I do feel a little bad since she's still a baby. That's all there is now. All that's left now is for us to go back to Asgard and fight the Garuda on the stone dais. You say that, but we're going to be doing that a lot. It's scary, but there's no turning back now.
Marta here. Yeah, Colette is a kind, good person. But you know, I get really jealous when I hear you complimenting Colette like that. God damn it, Emil. But she's a good person, and it's easy to find things to compliment her about. I'm kind of torn. Let's see, we tried to launch an attack on the stone dais, but Tenebrae said that a young dragon wouldn't be able to do any damage to the Garuda and head on attack, so we decided to get our dragon friend to attack the Garuda's membrane from
I hate that word now.
behind while we distracted it with a decoy. Emil volunteered to take the dangerous task of being the decoy. He offered to put himself in terrible danger for us without any hesitation. He's so cool. I'm really worried that Colette's gonna fall in love with him because he's so amazing. And then what would I do? Anyway, we've planned out our whole strategy, so all we have left to do now is go to the stone dance.
That's Colette, Miss Steal Yo Guy. Emil acted as a decoy on the stone dais, and he lured the Garuda out. He managed to emerge unscathed from his job as a decoy, and the young dragon broke through the Garuda's protective membrane. Thanks to both of them, we were finally able to beat the Garuda. We thought this would stop the gusts once and for all, but out of nowhere another Garuda appeared, and we were blown off the stone dais.
Yeah, do you remember when we had to fight the same boss three
fucking
times in a row?
and the first time you couldn't hurt him. I'm so tired of this. When will this end? We were at a loss for what to do when Tenebrae told us something the young dragon had said. Some strange force inside the stone dais was attracting monsters to it. Inside the stone dais would mean it's underground, right? But there's no entrance. So we weren't sure what to do. When Colette told us she knows someone in town who knows a lot about the stone dais. The brother of Aisha, the girl living in the house where we first met Colette. That is such a fucking mouthful. We'll find out a way to stop those gusts yet. Just you wait. Alright, let's go and meet Aisha's brother.
When we got to Aisha's house, her brother Leonard told us that his research revealed there was some sort of facility hidden underneath the stone dais. Hearing this, his sister Aisha suggested performing the maiden ritual on top of the stone dais. The maiden ritual signifies the opening of a door. Pretty weird if you ask me.
Also seems to have some connotations.
But since there's a Garuda on the stone dais, it's far too dangerous for us to ask Aisha to go and perform the ritual herself. That's why I decided to do it. I'm not usually very good at these kinds of things, but it seems like this is our only option right now, and fuck Colette. We wouldn't want to have Colette try and mess up with her tripping over herself either. I don't want her to dance for Emil. Ugh, no. They might fall in love, and then where would I be?
Indeed.
So I decided that Aisha would give me a private lesson how to do the maiden ritual.
This is Emil. While Marta was learning how to do the ritual, Colette and I waited at the inn. We hadn't told Colette anything about the purpose of our journey yet, so I decided to take this time to explain all of it to her, starting the trend of fades to black.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of those. After we got to the inn, Tenebrae told us several things about Ratatosk. This was the first time I'd heard these things too, so I'll write them down in this journal so I don't forget.
Oh god. Okay. I'm gonna cut in here. Tenebrae explained that it all started when the giant Carlan tree, which produced the world's mana, withered. I already knew that Ratatosk was in charge of regulating the world's mana, but it seems that he was actually the guardian of the giant Carlan tree and the otherworldly gate.
TM.
I don't really understand the part about the otherworldly gate.
TM.
But I guess it means he's a protector of a gate that connects this world to another. Anyway, ever since the giant Carlan tree withered in the ancient war 4,000 years ago, Ratatosk has been asleep. Of course, Tenebrae and the other 7 Centurions were asleep as well. Tenebrae said 8 Centurions, so I assume that there aren't any more of them.
These are such unnecessary parentheticals.
What the hell? Then, after a long time had passed, the time approached for them all to awaken. But Ratatosk's core remained dormant, and the Vanguard stole the core before he awakened.
All invented full cloth. None of this happened.
None of this is real. Marta, feeling the Vanguard would use Ratatosk's core for evil, stole the core from them, and set out on her quest. Everything that happened after that is already written in this journal. Wait, so when did Richter get Ratatosk's core? Didn't Marta say that she'd taken the core from him? What? Wait, huh? Did she?
No. Tenebrae took it and gave it to her for some reason.
Then
that
why
part
is
was
this
also
here?
never explained. Well, I think Richter did. I guess Marta did. I have no idea.
Alright, back to you.
It seemed like our explanation answered a lot of questions that Colette had had. Marta came back after learning how to do the ritual. All right, now all that's left for us to do is to go back to the stone dais.
But yeah, this is a diary that Emil started, and then they're swapping back and forth between Emil and Marta. And it's a synopsis of the game to tell you what you were doing. But this is rubbish.
It's pretty bad.
It's really bad, man. Marta here. Who cares about Richter?
Fuck that guy.
Ugh. Since Ratatosk's core has changed hands so many times, I just got mixed up when I was talking about how I got it. More important, how did you like the ritual on the stone dais? You were watching me, right? Were you proud of me? Did you think I was cute? I'll ask you in person and see what you say. Anyway, just like Aisha had guessed, when I performed the ritual, a magical device in the stone dais activated. Tenebrae said that the ritual, along with Ratatosk's core on my forehead, probably caused some sort of reaction in the stone dais. And Ratatosk's core was glowing. Look, they can't put commas in the right place.
Because there should also be a comma after that too.
Yeah, like the 2, which means there's a good chance that Centuria's core is somewhere beneath the stone dais. This might be our chance to beat Lloyd. Alright, let's go on to the stone dais.
soon as we went down into the stone dais, Tenebrae sensed the Centurion's core. He said that the Centurion Ventus's core had to be somewhere nearby. You know, we never did find Centurion Terra.
No.
There's a Ventus and an Aqua, but no Terra.
Yeah, it's true.
Shameful.
Got something else, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, there was an Earth Centurion. I don't even remember. I've lost it because it was very unimportant.
Terracore or something?
Sounds about right. But then, I said something that I didn't mean to. I said that must mean Lloyd hadn't gotten to Ventus yet. Colette heard me and immediately asked why Lloyd would come to a place like this. I had wanted to avoid this. If we explained to her how Lloyd factored into everything, we would have had another fade to black, and fuck that. I was afraid hearing that would make Colette sad. And talking about Lewin might be hard on Emile too, which is why I hadn't said anything before. Eventually, we ended up having to explain all this to Colette, so I guess that was useless. Sure enough, Colette seemed pretty down after we told her everything. I'm sorry, Colette.
Am I though? Deep, deep below the stone dais, we found an altar, like when we had found Lumen's core. As you might expect, there was a Centurion's core there too, but when we tried to take the core, a monster suddenly appeared. Colette had seen the monster before. She told us it was the same imposter who pretended to be the summoned spirit of wind in Asgard a couple of years ago. I was so surprised the imposter would show up again after being beaten by Colette and the others. Then Tenebrae said something really surprising. He said that he thought the imposter might actually be Ventus. I'm not sure how that could be, but whether it was Ventus, an imposter summon spirit, or whatever else, we had to defeat it to get that core. We decided to fight.
Boy, that really never comes up again, does it?
No.
The whole that was Ventus?
No, it doesn't. Once we'd beaten the monster, Tenebrae told us that the monster's rampage had probably been caused by the chaotic state of the Centurion's core. Centurions can make monsters appear at will, and the fake summoned spirit of wind that Colette and her friends beat a few years ago was probably born due to the dormant core as well.
Sure.
Let's punt as much of the story into one as we can, I'm sure. But if we hatched Ventus's core, Ventus would awaken and regain control of his powers. That would also make the Garuda stop appearing, bringing an end to the wild guts in Asgard and the damage they caused. Well,
Jesus!
It wouldn't put a stop to the damage that had already been done, you know? But
You know, the ongoing of damage.
it's fine. The time had come for us to hatch Ventus's core, and Colette ran up and got it herself. I meant to tell her before that coming in contact with the core can cause humans to lose their sanity. But I forgot, so Tenebrae and I explained it to her, and then I hatched Ventus's core. Tenebrae had told me the way to hatch them before, and I think I did really well. Or once Ventus had awoken, he looked like a sort of round crystal, really similar in appearance to Ratol's core on my forehead. According to Tenebrae, a Centurion's lost its power and can't maintain a physical body even after it's been hatched. This is why we don't see any models for anyone other than Tenebrae.
It's also really funny how when he gets rehatched, he's just back.
Well, that's because the animators didn't have enough budget. The Centurion might return to its original form once Ratos wakes up, but don't expect to see that. It's very disappointing.
You were very disappointed. Once we got above ground, the gusts had stopped, and no Garudas came to attack us. Huge success! But Colette didn't seem very happy. I asked her if she was okay, and she said she was worried for Lloyd after hearing that coming into contact with the core would destroy a person's spirit. Lloyd must be really important to Colette.
KTK, playing this whole game, like, it was an open wound. Like, having played Symphonia and really liking that game, this whole game
Is hell.
is hell, and the ending is dire. I don't know if there's an area thing that sounds equivalent to Valley Girl. That's probably why I'm going so Valley Girl.
I was a little moved by Colette's feelings for Lloyd. Then Emile invited her to join us on our journey. We are following after Lloyd after all. If Colette's worried about him, it might be best for her to come with us. But Colette said she'd prefer to look for Lloyd herself, and also she can fucking fly, so that would be just useless to be with us ground-dwelling people. Lloyd has a type of flying vehicle called a Rayard, so she might not be able to find him if she's stuck to traveling on land like us plebeians.
You know, it's a bit kind of clue as to who Lloyd's working with that he has a Rayard.
Yeah.
Because they are humans.
Not that we know what Ewan's up to until he shows up at like the 40th hour of this game.
Oh man, I can't do Irish accents. At least not for very long.
What a shame. But then, believe it or not, Colette apologized to me. I think it probably had to do with what happened in Palmacosta. But I don't want to hear anything about that anymore. Apologies don't change what happened, for one. My mom's still fucking dead. And it's still not something I feel I can easily forgive. Even though I feel that way, I've really come to like Colette as a person. That's why I don't think... Oh, I completely just lost her there. I moved over a page. That's why I don't think she should have to apologize. Sorry if I got off topic there. Please stay on topic. Anyway, Colette said she'd go and report to the mayor about what happened and under the stone dais, and we decided to go with her. We could put off saying goodbye for a little longer.
We told the mayor what happened, and you should have seen how happy he was. I think the town of Asgard should be able to come back into its own as a tourist destination now. It concerns me, though, that there are more and more people in this town, too, who support the Vanguard, see Colette as a nuisance.
That a thing?
I guess it just goes to show how unhappy the Silveranti people are with the world after regeneration. That isn't right. The problem isn't the world regeneration, it's antagonism between the Tapping Islands and the Silveranti. I wonder what should be done about that. What if there's no other way to fix things than by doing what the Vanguard's doing?
Bloody revolution, baby.
Anyway, after the meeting with the mayor, we ended up parting ways with Colette. After we saw her off, Tenebrae, Emma, and I talked about where we should go next. We decided to go to Palmacosta first, because it's on the way to Lloyd's hometown, Acelia. I'm sad that we had to say goodbye to Colette, but I won't let it get me down. Let's go and find those cores, Emma.
Hi, this is Emil again. Thanks, Marta. I guess I better do my best so you don't give up on me.
God, the fact that they're talking to each other through this diary sucks ass too.
Yep. You could do something kind of cute with this, but God, the plot of this game is so bad.
FF12 Revenant Wings has a journal.
And it's much snappier
Which
than
is
this.
snappier, it's cute, they talk to each other through it, it's funny. Like, it really is, you know, we're playing Revenant Wings and we're looking at the journal and that is so much better than this journal.
Yep.
Going to Palmacosta means passing through Hakanisha Peak, doesn't it? You used to have to pay a ridiculously high fee to cross over Hakanisha Peak, but it's free now. Since we didn't have much money, that was a huge relief. As soon as we got to Hakanisha Peak, God, I keep saying that, we ran into Alice and Hawk of the Vanguard.
They really do say that a lot, like, they keep repeating, like, town names and people's names when they could use pronouns.
Yep.
They didn't notice us, but they knew we were headed for Palmacosta and said they were planning on ambushing us there. I don't want to go to Palmacosta now.
See, there's no reason to say I don't want to go to Palmacosta now. You could just say I don't want to go there now.
Yeah.
But the best way of getting to Azalea is by ship. So I guess our only choice is to go there and try not to get caught by Alice. Right as we were about to go through Hakanisha Peak, I had a vision. Or maybe it wasn't a vision, I'm not really sure, but it sure was strange. Richter was in it, and I guess that's all I remember about it.
I haven't had to do my Emil voice in a long time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me, I'm really okay. Let's forget about this and hurry to Palmacosta, okay?
Why is this one page?
So I finally came home to Palmacosta. It's been 6 months, but the city didn't really feel very nostalgic.
I wonder why.
It felt more fresh and new. Maybe it's because Lewin is secluded in the mountains, and with Palmacosta's views of the ocean, it seems fresher and more
No, it's
invigorating.
because you're not Emil.
Marta and I decided to split up, and we both went our separate ways to gather information about Lord's whereabouts.
Oh! I was wandering around the city when I saw Richter again. I was really surprised, but Richter seemed even more surprised than I was. It makes sense, though. There's no way he would have known that I was even traveling. It looked like Richter had recovered from the injuries he got when he was attacked by that fucker Lloyd. I was relieved. Again, but it keeps going like explain. It's that Futurama quote.
Yep.
You can't just.
Yep.
Your characters can't just say how they feel. And then something not so great happened. It was actually pretty bad. Alice showed up and she called out to Richter in a friendly way. That's when I realized that Richter was in the vanguard.
What the?
Richter protected me from Alice, so that means he's not my enemy, right? There must be some reason why he'd do that. I summoned up my courage and asked him what the Vanguard were trying to do. And he told me they were trying to revive the Silverant dynasty.
Sure.
Well, why would they want to bring back a dynasty that ended 800 years ago? No one fucking knows, Emil. It makes no sense. Don't worry about it. Also, from the way Richter talked about it, it didn't seem like he really cared about the dynasty at all. I don't think that's why he's in the Vanguard. Richter then told me he would get Ratov's core, even if it meant killing Marta. And then he left. I wanted to go after Richter.
Of course you did.
I love him so much. But it's more important for me to find Marta and tell her she's in danger now that Alice has seen me. She should be in the pub. I've got to hurry.
Getting fucking crunk.
I met up with Marta in the pub and told her about my encounter with Alice. I also asked her about Richter, and she confessed that she had kept the fact that Richter was a Vanguard member secret from me. She said she couldn't bring herself to tell me because I trusted Richter so much. Thank you for being thoughtful, Marta.
Like if they were explaining how they felt in a way that wasn't just, I felt angry, or I felt relieved, or I felt jealous, it's just so bad. It's so bad. You don't need to write, I felt relieved as a sentence in the middle of a paragraph.
The joke of that is literally that, just saying the exact thing as opposed where just saying how you feel in an artsier way is not the same.
In the end, we didn't manage to get any information about sightings of Lloyd in Palma Costa, so we decided we needed to move on to Azalea before Alice found us. However, people said the seas were too rough for ships to leave port. Maybe the unusual weather condition have to do with Ratatosk being asleep, I guess. But with Alice and the rest of the Vanguard here, we can't just sit around Palma Costa waiting for the weather to clear. We decided to visit Mrs. Dorr in the Governor General's office to see if there was any way she could help us get a ship to take us to Azalea.
This is where we first realized that Emma wasn't Emma, right?
Yes, because she was like, who the fuck are you?
In the Governor General's office, Mrs. Dorr told us a man had gone missing after he said he knew the reason for the rough seas and headed towards the Camistra Mountain. His name is Thomas, and he's a fisherman who was my next-door neighbor when I was living in Palma Costa.
Allegedly.
Apparently. If there's some underlying cause for the rough seas other than problems from Ratatosk's core, then maybe if we got rid of that cause, we could cross over to Azalea. Mrs. Dorr told us she'd set up a search party to the Camistra Mountains to look for Thomas, and I thought it sounded like a pretty good idea to sit tight and wait to see what they found. But it seemed like Marta wanted to go and search for him herself, and she seemed so surprised that I didn't want to go. So I caved in and agreed. Maybe I'm too much of a pushover.
Yep.
That's how we ended up deciding to go to the Camistra Mountains ourselves to look for Thomas. The mountains are supposed to be a really dangerous place. I hope we'll be alright. So the first chapter was written after the fact, and all the other chapters are written as we go.
As we go, yeah, because they started the journal afterwards.
When we left the Governor General's office, Richter suddenly appeared and attacked Marta. I blocked his attack and then told him that no one was going to get to her, not even him. I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like 21.5 pages per chapter, and chapter 1 was 26.
Yeah.
And this one is 23.
Yeah.
And not even close to ending.
Yep.
I may have bit my tongue a little bit, and I was really scared at the time, so it might have just come out as a mumble, but I said it. I thought that I was going to have to fight Richter, but then a man with red hair named Zelos showed up and diffused the situation. It seemed like Richter had met Zelos before.
Well, see, JRPGs do tend to front-load the story, but this game didn't.
Well, this game kind of quote-unquote front-loaded story and then spent the next 20 hours with zero story.
Like, it's wild, like, there's so much in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and so much of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 have nothing to do with the actual story, like,
That's fair.
anything to do with the game. Nothing happened in this game.
Yep, that's the real key here.
Richter told us to watch out for Alice and left. Zelos walked off as well, seeing he had an appointment at the Governor General's office. Marta and I kind of stood there confused since we had no idea what Richter was talking about and didn't know who Zelos was. Marta said that Zelos was the name of Tetheala's chosen back when there were two separate worlds, but the man we met seemed really flaky and irresponsible. Nothing like Silveron's chosen, Colette.
Yes,
Who
we
is-
know.
I mean, Colette is like the most scatterbrained person in the world. But
True.
It must have been just a coincidence that he happened to have the same name as Tetheala's chosen.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
And same hair color.
Anyway, we had to go and help Taunus before the Vanguard finds us. We're headed to the Dynasty ruins in the Comisra Mountains. It's scary, but let's give it our best shot.
People say that the Silver and Dynasty ruins in the Comisra Mountains are the ruins of a palace built during the Silveran Dynasty, which came to an end 800 years ago. These ruins are the only remaining structures from that time period, hence their name. Why would the Vanguard want to revive a dynasty so old it only has a single set of ruins remaining in the whole world? I asked Marta and she explained it to me. The Vanguard's commander, a man named Brute,
Et tu, Brute?
it's your Brute, is trying to revive the dynasty so they become its king. Marta said she thought that was dumb, and I was kind of glad to hear her say that. Somewhere inside, the fact that Marta was a member of the Vanguard has been gnawing away at me. I'm sorry, Mara, but that gnawing feeling turned into happiness when I found out that Marta thinks the Vanguard's ideals are stupid.
Stupid.
God, that...
Yeah, I know.
I used to think that I understood where the Vanguard was coming from, but now I've come to think of them as an organization whose motives and behavior confuse me to no end.
It's really just that this journal is so wordy that, like, because
It's
it's
so wordy.
because it has the job of recapping plot. Adding literally anything else on top of that makes it feel
Well,
like
that and it
just
goes like
rambles
Marta
forever.
said it was stupid.
And I'm glad that she said it was stupid.
Yeah, it's like Marta was a member of the Vanguard, had been gnawing away at me, gnawing feeling. When I found out she thinks their ideas are stupid, just think I understood, but it turns out they're dumb. And it's like it's such a repeat. We didn't need any of that.
Yup.
None of that was like it just repeats itself constantly.
Yup.
Marta said that the Vanguard's plans to use Ratchel's core for something called a mana cannon. It sounds like... Did she really explain that this early?
I don't remember.
I don't know anything else about it. All I really know is I absolutely can't let Ratchel's core or Marta fall into the Vanguard's hands. Right, Marta?
Marta here. That's right, Emil. I'm glad you're here to keep. I have you here to keep me safe. While we were. Heart. While we were exploring the Dynasty ruins, we discovered a man lying on the ground. It was the fisherman Thomas. He was injured and couldn't move. But before he passed out, he showed us the corpse of a monster that he claimed was the reason behind the rough seas. Tenebrae said that that's bullshit. Tenebrae said that the corpse was a monster called a remora, and it usually lives in freshwater environments. We were trying to figure out what a freshwater monster would have to do with rough waves in the oceans.
We never see the mana cannon in the game, right?
I don't believe we do, no. It just gets talked
We
about.
just talked about it, we never actually see it.
when, yet again, Alice suddenly showed up. She said she would fight us, for herself for once, so we decided to take her up on her offer, and we gave her a beating she won't soon forget. Then it seemed like the machine controlling one of Alice's monsters broke, and the monster tried to attack her. But right before it could get her, Zelos, who we met back in Palma Costa, appeared and defeated it. Then Alice said that Zelos was Tetheala's chosen. I still can't believe that such a flaky guy could actually be a chosen. Zelos told us that Mrs. Dorr had told him to come and help us. Zelos told us that Mrs. Dorr had told him that we had told them...
See, this is the thing. Like, I don't mind a journal that isn't completely to the point. Like, I don't need my synopsis to be, like, completely, like concise and to the point. I don't need it just to be a summary. I could get behind a journal. Like, I like the journal in Revenant Wings. But this is written really badly.
And when you give it the job of having to recap literally everything, it's sort of...
It's
journal...
really
It really
covering
gets hurt by the
everything.
journal format.
It's not even recapping, like, the base points. Like, normally a synopsis is, here's what you were doing, here's what your next goal is, right? So you can get back into the game, but this is explaining stuff that really doesn't need to be explained again.
Yep, there's not enough plot in this game to have to explain it all.
No.
Zealous was friendly at first, but when we told...
Wait, what? Was there a missing bracket?
You're right! No, wait, who we met back in Palma Costa, that has a bracket.
No, I don't think there's a missing bracket.
Zelos was very friendly at first, but when we told him we were following Lloyd, he suddenly became very cold. He told us he didn't want to talk to anyone who had sworn revenge on his friends, and he left, taking Thomas with him. It made me wonder why he'd even come here in the first place. Thanks to Zelos, Emil got to thinking about Lloyd again, and got in a really bad mood. What a pain! But I guess I'm thankful that he came and helped Thomas, I guess. Though now that Thomas is gone, we still have no idea what the Remora corpse has to do with anything. But we're sure there must be some answer here somewhere. We've decided to explore this area a little bit more and see what we can find.
Brackets
It's right there,
Yeah.
at the end of that line. We met back in Palma Costa, close bracket.
Once we were deep down in the Dynasty ruins? Why do I keep having to say deep down? That's like the second time we came across an underground water vein. When we saw that, Tenebrae said he figured out why the seas have been so rough. Tenebrae's guess about what's happening went like this. The freshwater monsters and the saltwater monsters are battling over territory. The underground vein and the surrounding ocean are connected to each other somehow, and the freshwater monsters, which can also survive in saltwater, like the Remora, are entering the ocean and fighting the saltwater monsters, causing rough waves everywhere.
Sure.
Not to mention the fact that the ocean is the domain of the Centurion Aqua, who's always hanging around Richter. If she's not paying attention to her duty, the monsters are free to fight and go wild all they want.
You said duty. As if to back up Tenebrae's theory, we soon discovered an underground lake in the deepest part of the Dynasty ruins, where an extremely territorial monster called the Manitou
Oh
was
yeah,
li-
this game came out after Vesperia.
Yes. Tenebrae told us that he wouldn't be surprised if this monster was the one causing most of the territorial disputes with the other monsters in the ocean. Thinking there was a good chance the rough seas might calm down if we beat this monster, we decided to fight it. And of course, we emerged from battle with a thrilling victory! But the Manitou wasn't finished yet, and it used its last bit of power to swallow us.
Oh, I forgot. This is how we got to Celia.
We got washed across the ocean in a whale.
Right. That
We
was
thought
dumb.
we'd end up digested in its stomach, but it seemed it had run out of steam, so to speak, and as soon as spat us out and swam away. When we got up and looked around, we were on some seashore. Emil, Tenebrae, and I were at a complete loss as to where we were. Right then, a person, or something like a little like a person, with a weird-looking dog passed by.
Nice,
and he
nice,
told us
nice.
that we were just north of Azalea. What luck! That's when we realized that we had crossed the ocean, thanks to the Manitou. Isn't that crazy? Being inside the belly of a monster is one thing, but to cross an entire ocean at the same time, that's something
yeah.
to write home about.
Yeah, the dungeons with Richter are missable. Yeah, side
Yes.
quests. Yeah.
So now we can go to Azalea, and we can ask all about Lloyd. Maybe we'll even find some clues about where Lloyd's gone to. Alright, I'm ready to rumble.
Hell yeah. Oh, chapter 3.
We finally
We made
hit
it.
chapter 3 and 54
54.
fucking pages.
What? Chapter 1 and 2 are so pointless now.
Yes. Almost nothing important happens in them.
This is Emil. We finally made it to Azalea, Lloyd's hometown. It really feels like I'm in enemy territory here. Right as we came into the village, we met a boy named Paul, and proudly told us he was Lloyd's #1 apprentice.
That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Absolutely unbelievable. Why the heck would anyone be happy to be the apprentice of a cold-blooded murderer? I really hate being here. I have to find some clue as to which way Lloyd went. I don't have any choice. You should go and talk to the townspeople here and see the mayor as well.
When we got to the mayor's house, we saw a group of children playing, pretending to be Lloyd and the Designs. When he saw this, Tenebrae commented that he didn't know who the Designs were. I thought that was strange, but then again, Tenebrae was asleep while the world was separated in two, so maybe it makes sense. As Marta no doubt knows as well, the Designs were a group primarily composed of half-elves who wreaked havoc on the world of Silverant. The reason that half-elves are discriminated against is that people tend to associate them with the Designs.
No, that isn't why half-elves are discriminated against. The Designs were made because half-elves are discriminated against because they're mixed race and people fucking hated them. Like, God's sake, for fuck's sake. No. Incorrect. Fuck
To be
you.
honest, I'm a little scared of half-elves too. Not that I've ever met one before. I think the main reason that the Designs were hated and feared so much was the existence of what were called human ranches. The Designs would kidnap people from nearby towns and lock them in facilities called ranches until they died. I've heard that they were doing it to make some sort of special stones called X-Spheres, but I don't really know anything more about
And the game is never going to explain any more than that because it's in 1.
They say the Designs tried to interfere with the Chosen's quest of world regeneration. That would mean that Colette fought against the Designs. I guess Lloyd did too. Whenever I think about Lloyd, I can feel my blood pressure rising. I just can't help but remember the moment when my mother passed away. I wonder if I'll be able to keep my cool when we meet the mayor. We didn't get much information of use from the mayor, and although he spoke as though he wasn't too fond of Lloyd, he still seemed to take Lloyd's side. This was really hard for me. I know that Lloyd killed my mother, yet everyone is always taking his side in
I think
everything.
you're gonna have to switch voice now.
Well, if Lloyd the Great is so wonderful and caring, then why did he kill my mom? She wasn't even in the Vanguard. She said Lloyd likes to say all lives are equal. What a hypocrite. The mayor at least let us know that Lloyd's father is in the Church of Martel's temple north of town. I want to go and talk to Lloyd's father. I think I'd like to see what he thinks of the terrible things his son has done.
The man we met in the chapel who turned out to be Lloyd's father was Dirk. The same dwarf we met when we were coughed up on the shore by the Manitou.
That sentence is worded really awkwardly.
Dirk wasn't how I imagined him at all. When I asked him if he was ashamed of the things Lloyd had done, he said he was proud to call Lloyd his son. I thought for sure he would apologize for Lloyd's actions or he would call me a liar. At first I got incredibly mad when I heard what Dirk said. When I heard how firmly he believes in his own son, I just felt sad instead. I could tell that even though Dirk wasn't related to Lloyd by blood, he still trusted him and loved him. It was the polar opposite of my relationship with Uncle Alba. I didn't know what to think anymore.
So, Marta here. In the end, it seemed that Dirk didn't know where Lloyd had gone off to either. On the way back from the temple, a very pretty woman asked us if we knew where Paul was. You know, the little boy we met when we came into Azalea, who said he was Lloyd's apprentice. No one knows where Paul is at all. When I told her that he had said he was going to go to the Cursed Ranch, she said that he must have gone off to the Human Ranch.
I
and
forgot
left.
that this was another big plot thing that happened and it doesn't actually matter.
Which part
like,
of it?
Paul going to the Human Ranch and us going to rescue him.
Oh yeah, we
It's
just
a
go
side,
find
it's
him.
a side quest.
Yeah, we just go find him and then
It's
we
a
go.
side, and then we find Rain.
Yeah.
And then we go on with the plot. Like,
Yeah.
this whole thing is side shit.
Well, you say side shit, but we go on to go do more side shit.
Yes, sure.
I got a little worried for Paul, but Emile didn't think we should care about him since he's an apprentice of Lloyd's. I'm sorry, Emile. I told you that I told you that the Emile I know doesn't think like that. But all that shows is that I haven't been paying enough attention to who you really are. I've just been trying to make you into my prince. I've been so foolish. Please forgive me. Back in Azalea, everyone was worried about Paul. We decided to go to the Human Ranch and look for Paul. Emile, if you're reading this, I want us to be friends again. From now on, I'm going to try hard to see you for who you really are. I can't stand you being mad at me when we're traveling together. I'm gonna work hard to make myself better. So please forgive me.
Spoiler, she never does.
It
She never
happens.
does. She never actually knows who Emil is, and she never becomes better.
Yep.
That's true, don't spoil it. We haven't met her yet. Yes, we haven't met her in the journal yet.
I will be right back.
Alright, I will.
Feel free.
Yes, I will. This is Emil. They really don't need to say that every time.
I know. I guess for a colorblind person.
I'm sorry, Marta. I just saw you apologize to me in here, too. When we were on the way to the Human Ranch, you told me I was one of the nicest people you ever met. Even if I do get scared sometimes. That made me realize that you really have— oh my fucking god, no. Wow, immediately after the scene where Marta's like, I realized that I've idolized you, and I'm in love with someone who doesn't actually exist, I'm sorry, I'll stop being clingy. The journal is like, Emil is like, no, it's fine. What? Emil is the one who told her stop being so goddamn clingy, and now he's like, actually, I was wrong. Ugh. Been paying attention to me and who I am. I mean, I'm really scared of monsters. I don't like fighting, and I'm kind of a wuss. And even though I said some horrible things to you out of my anger at Lloyd, you still told me I was nice. Marta, you're far, far a nicer guy, TM, than I could ever be. So, Marta, I hope you'll forgive me. Can you see this shit?
Yeah.
Like, immediately after that scene where he
Yeah.
tells her off, rightly tells her off. He's like, no, I was wrong. Whoa. I hope you'll forgive me instead of the other way around. Let's travel together and not get in any more fights. I feel a little awkward writing you more now, so maybe I'll leave the account of what happened next for Marta.
No.
Here you go, honey.
Marta here. That means we're friends again, right? Heart. So when we went to the Human Ranch, we went to the Human Ranch
Marta,
to look for
I was
Paul.
wrong for setting boundaries.
But it was
It's-
covered in a thick layer of fog, and Emile seemed scared. I was a bit scared too, to tell the truth. But there's more. We're more worried about Paul. Just think how scary it would be for him if he were lost in that thick fog. Come on, we've got to go find him.
We found Paul deep in the Human Ranch, but before we could get to him, we were trapped by a monster, and it nearly got us. But the woman we met earlier named Rain appeared and saved us. When did we mention that we met Rain? Did we mention that?
We did.
Did we?
The beautiful woman.
Oh yeah. Turns out she's a teacher in Azalea. Once we introduced ourselves, Rain gave us a mysterious look and said she had something to talk to us about. But for now, we need to take Paul home, so we decided to head back to Azalea.
When we reached Azalea, Rain went to take Paul back to his home and told us to wait for her in the school. I wonder if she is Lloyd's old teacher who the mayor told us about. And also, what could she want to talk to us about? I feel a little anxious thinking about it.
Hi, this is Emil. Rain turned out to be Lloyd's old teacher. She was a little different from the friends of Lloyd we've already met, who all trusted him entirely. She talked about him in a very distant, emotionless way, almost as if she didn't trust Lloyd anymore. Marta seemed disturbed by Rain's attitude, and she left in the middle of our conversation. Tenebrae and I went out together to look for her. It seemed Marta was shocked when Rain didn't stand up for Lloyd and be her friend. She said if she were in the same position, she would have stood up for me if someone claimed I'd done something wrong. When she said that, I realized why we were having so much trouble finding out about Lloyd's whereabouts. Turns out, friends are loyal.
Yep. Weird that.
Weird. If I were being followed by someone who saw me as their enemy, and this person came to Marta to ask about me, doing nothing but insulting me and blaming me for atrocities, Marta probably wouldn't tell him anything useful at all. Wow, I can't believe it took Emil this long to figure that out.
I know, this is so basic.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to deal with anyone who came to me asking about Marta and only said bad things about her, but that applies to the people who are so fond of Lloyd, too. Jesus, that's a lot of words to say that.
Right.
I also realized that Rain had been trying to tell us this, but we hadn't listened to her. That's why we decided to go back to the school and try talking to Rain about Lloyd one more time.
One more time, my.
Rain said a lot of complicated things, but it seems like she believes our claims, and she also believes in Lloyd. That doesn't make any sense, but we'll go with it. Maybe it's because there's no hard evidence to contradict what we're saying. She's a very calm and rational person, that's why she believes two contradictory statements at the same time. It's like believing in God and not believing in God at the same time. Completely normal to have. I was very happy she decided to believe us. Rain also told us that a man in Azalea named Pepe, Colette's next door neighbor, saw Lloyd recently. So we decided to go and play Pepe a visit.
Pee-pee.
Pee-pee.
We talked to Pepe, and he told us that he saw Lloyd go in the direction of the Tree of Ruins. We decided to follow after him right away, and Rain asked us to take her with us. It seems like Rain wants to know what's going on with Lloyd too. Lloyd was Rain's student, and her friend after all. Since I have such a hard time keeping calm whenever I think about Lloyd, we decided it would be a good idea to have Rain come along with us and talk to us about Lloyd. It's a bit of a weird plan, I guess. Rain's a cool and collected person.
Well, we've already said that.
And if we were to happen to run into Lloyd, I think having Rain with us might help us get an explanation of why he hurt so many innocent people in Palma Costa.
It didn't know.
So we all headed off together towards the Tree of Ruins. I'm not sure if Lloyd's actually going in there or not, but I suppose we don't have any other option right now to go and see.
It's so wild how many Symphonia characters have to both believe Emil and believe Lloyd.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense,
Yeah.
because if you believe that Lloyd didn't kill anyone, you can't believe Emil,
Yep.
who says that Lloyd butchered a town. It's completely contradictory. Like, you cannot have both, and yet so many of the characters
Yep.
believe both, and it makes no. And it's because they have to be with Emil, but they have to believe in Lloyd because, duh, obviously they're Lloyd's friends. Like, dumb. Marta here! When we got to the Triumph Ruins, we saw a very unexpected sight of Rain. She's crazy about ruins. Whenever she sees any ruins at all, her personality changes. She becomes extremely excited and goes nuts over all their archaeological aspects. I remarked that she reminded me of Emil in that way. In the battles we've been in lately, it seems like Emil changes into a different person entirely, but Emil hadn't even noticed that he was changing. Yet the entire time I've known him, he's been in Raktos mode in battles. So how do I notice a difference? I don't know. Maybe to him it just feels like he's getting angry or something.
We ran into someone very unexpected in the ruins. His name is Mokuba, and he's Rain's younger brother. I never thought that I would see so many half-elves apart from the Desians. I used to think all half-elves were like the Desians. But Rain and Gina seem just like us humans.
Except they don't age and they use magic. They're more like elves.
Oops, I'm getting a bit off topic here. Genus was in the Triot ruins because he'd followed Lloyd, which means that Lloyd is in the ruins right now. Yes! Hopefully we'll be able to get to Lumen's core, Lumen's core back from him.
See, the thing is, Serena, they couldn't actually be like, we believe in Lloyd and we suspect he's being framed, because they wanted that to be the plot twist.
Yup.
And if at any point they had mentioned there might be a fake Lloyd, it would have given away their
The
dumb
obvious plot twist. That's the biggest problem with this. It never gets brought up because it would quote-unquote ruin it.
That's why none of the characters actually act rationally, because obviously it's a fake Lloyd.
Yep. The very obvious thing that, like people aren't even like, Lloyd didn't do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the whole thing falls apart.
Yep.
However, as we came to the path that led deeper into the ruins, we saw it was blocked by some sort of weird monster. Tenebrae said that it probably fled into the ruins to escape the unusual weather outside, and that we might be able to get it to move if we can bring it a type of food that it likes. So now we need to go to the oasis in the city of Triot for fish for food for the monster. If we don't hurry, Lloyd might get away before we get back. Let's go quickly and not get sidetracked. Uh-oh.
Gotta go on a date with Richter.
Not quite yet, I think.
When we got to Triot, it was snowing. Isn't that a little strange? I mean, it's a desert. If we don't hurry up and wait in Rakatosk, things are only gonna get worse. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. First things first, we've got to go and catch ourselves a monster in the oasis.
At the oasis, Tenebrae surprised everyone by transforming into a fishing rod.
See, so when he transforms into a woman later in the game,
why is it
why
weird?
are you so shocked? He's already been a fishing
He
rod.
turned into a fishing rod. The three genders.
Yeah,
Dog thing, lady, and fishing rod.
Why haven't they mentioned Baz or Volcano yet?
It's a bit weird of them. A bit rude if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so.
Centurion bodies must really come in handy. Emil managed to catch a monster to serve as food for the monster in the ruins. But the God, you said monster so many times and it's killing me.
I know.
But the monster he caught was way too huge to carry. So we decided to make a pact with it and have it join our party. Kinda fucked up if you think about it. Now that we can all go back to Triot Ruins together.
I do agree with Tolowish that a game where you came in where a hero was doing villainous acts, like if there wasn't a previous game, if you just
That's
came
part
in
of it, yeah.
and you were hunting down a hero that had turned villain, that could be interesting. But because we know Lloyd, we know it's bullshit.
There's never a question of what the answer's going to be.
And it's only 2 years later. That isn't enough time to actually corrupt Lloyd.
We spent every single one of those streams going like, no, he's not, whenever they tried to bring up that he was evil.
Right?
Nah, not buying it.
We felt too sorry for the monster we'd caught. It was inviting into our party only to be eaten. So we promoted it to the royal decoy to distract the path-walking monster while we slipped past. Nothing went according to plan, but in the end we managed to get into the inner part of the ruins. Tenebrae said he could sense the presence of Ignis's core here. And this is the part of the game when they first mentioned that Emil doesn't remember what he does in Rakatosk mode.
Yep. Yeah, it explicitly gets mentioned.
This is the explicit point where it mentions it, and the game then forgets that it mentioned it. We've got to get it before Lloyd gets to it first. We also learned something very interesting. A summon spirit named Ifrit used to sleep in the Triot ruins. Well, when Rain heard that the Centurion's core here belonged to Ignis, the Centurion of Fire, she suggested that each core with a certain elemental attribute might be located in the same place where that attribute's summon spirit used to be. If that's true, we might be able to get all of the Centurion's cores before Lloyd by traveling around to all of the old locations of the summon spirits, even though he also knows where they all are. This makes me feel like we might have some hope after all. Let's do our best, guys!
Alright, I don't care about this journal entry, but we have made it to 69.
Woo!
Only 100 journal entries left.
Woo!
Ignis's core was still on the altar when we got there. This would have been different if we didn't get it. We hatched the core immediately. Right afterwards, Lloyd appeared. We beat him to it by a hair. Lloyd left without stopping to answer Rain and Genus's questions at all. It seemed like the only thing he's interested in is stealing. I wish I knew what he's planning to use the cores to do.
Yeah, Lloyd just turns up and doesn't say anything for no reason.
Yup.
Rain and Gina seemed really shocked to see how strange Lloyd was acting. The two of them decided to go on a journey and figure out why Lloyd is doing the things he is. We got Rain to tell us where all the summon spirits used to be, and then we decided to make Fenor our next destination. I don't know why. So Rain and Gina offered to accompany us to the port of Isolde so we could take a ship across the ocean. Even though we have a long journey, a long way left to go, I finally feel like we have a ray of hope in our journey. It was so depressing to have no other choice but to follow Lloyd as he travels, to always be one step behind him. From now on, we're gonna go around to all of the places where the summon spirits used to be, and we'll still be one step behind Lloyd.
Wink. This is Emil. Just like Marta said.
Oh, we're not gonna do all of this in one stream.
Jesus, no.
Just like Marta said, I feel like we finally figured out exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Let's do our best. When we got to Isolde, we immediately noticed the smell of something burning. Thus begins the legend of the light frog. It smells more like something's burning than the smell of cooking fish, so we decided to go and look for the source of the smell.
But yeah, it's just, you can't have a game set
Oh!
2 years after and be like, okay, this guy, who is the goody two-shoest person in the
Yep.
world, is now evil, mass murdering people and burning down towns. It's too much.
Yep.
But yes, it's finally here. We're probably just gonna get through the riveting tale of the Light Frog.
This is the Light Frog saga.
And if you guys have enjoyed this, we might do the rest of
I don't know
Tuesday.
if I could handle another stream of this.
Is it too much?
I don't know, we'll see.
The smell is coming from some crates in the village. It seemed that someone set fire to some boxes of seafood gels.
Okay, so you immediately notice the seafood gels the first time, and yet you still have to spend like 10 more conversations before someone actually thinks, maybe it's the seafood gels.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to any Amatosk ones, so Shadow the Hedgehog read out ones.
I would also say my Shadow the Hedgehog voice hurts a lot more.
One of the villagers told us that they've had several cases of arson in the town recently. A bright light is seen every time before the arsonist sets fire to anything. We thought they'd caught the arsonist already, but this fire happened in the exact same way as the earlier ones. So the villagers have been talking about how the criminal might have escaped instead of the obvious thing that maybe he didn't do it.
Oh, please, he did it.
And then maybe someone
He's
else
guilty
did
as
it.
shit.
No. I don't know what to believe, but I'm a little scared of another fire breaking out. All of us would like to lend a hand if possible. But right now, it's more important for us to get the Centurion's course before Lloyd does. So we decided to head
Emil.
for the harbor. But that really just seems like a lame excuse for leaving the villagers to deal with their problems on their own. I mean, we don't live here, so there might be nothing we could do to help. This doesn't even really involve us at all, but I still feel a bit guilty for not helping.
We went to the harbor, where a sailor told us that no ships are leaving town right now. They think the arsonist might have broken out of prison, and they don't want to give him the opportunity to stow away on any of the ships and escape from town. I mean, I guess that would get rid of the fires, but never mind. The sailor we talked to even accused us of being arsonists when we asked about leaving on a ship. I understand now that he was only half joking, though he might really have been half serious, too. That's a dumb statement. But at the time, it really affected me. I got really mad at being treated like a criminal. Before I knew it, I had my hands around the sailor's neck. If Marta hadn't stopped me, I might have killed him. Marta said I've had a few incidents where I suddenly get really mad like in the past. Everyone calls it my Ratatosk mode. So this is what we're talking about, is what they were talking about.
So we do establish here that he doesn't remember what
that he doesn't
does
remember
in
explicitly.
Ratatosk. We explicitly state it here.
I finally realized something's not quite right with me. Maybe I'm not strong enough to effectively use the powers of a Knight of Ratatosk. If that's true, I need to try a lot harder. But I'm not sure how I'm supposed to try.
Anyway, no ships are leaving town right now, but they should start leaving port again if the arsonist is caught. So we've decided to go looking for the criminal ourselves. In order to see if we can find any clues, we decided we better go to the prison where the arsonist escaped. He didn't escape. Just saying.
I actually can't do Sonic. I was thinking about it. It's like, hi, I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, as long as you start with
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm Sonic. I'm Sonic. We went to the prison. No, I just can't do it. I can't do a Sonic voice. I tried. I went to the prison, and the arsonist was still there in his cell. Once more, his name was Regal Bryant, another companion of Lloyd's from the journey of world regeneration. According to Regal, his arrest for arson was a mistake, and he too was a victim. However, the only man who could attest to his innocence and inhaled a lot of smoke in the fire is still unconscious. Regal was sent to prison for a crime he didn't commit. We decided to go and check on Berg in order to prove Regal's innocence.
When we saw Berg's condition, Rain guessed that Berg had probably been poisoned by a monster called a light frog, though its proper name is apparently Nozdrovier. Tenebrae agreed. He explained that the light frog gives off heat and light when it absorbs a lot of energy in its body. As soon as we heard that, we realized that the light frog might have been what's causing all the fires around town. Weird, that. In order to prove this, we needed to help Berg regain consciousness so that he can get Regal out of prison. However, Tenebrae says the only thing that can cure the light frog's poison is a rosemary plant. We decided to head for Camberto Caves, where the rosemary is said to grow. I guess we should also write about an incident that happened, I guess. While we were talking about what to do next,
I lost my temper again. Rain said we should just go forget about Regal and Berg. And I got angry. Rain was actually lying.
I can't actually do that voice.
Rain was actually lying. Or maybe it'd be better to say acting, to try to make me mad by saying something cruel, and I completely fell for it.
why do I lose my temper so easily? Also, I wonder why Rain would go and do something like that.
We got to the Camberto Caves, but due to unusual weather, all the rosemary that should have been growing here has withered and died. However, there might be some left deeper in the caves. We're gonna keep looking.
We kept looking and didn't give up, and eventually we found some rosemary deep within the cave. I thought that we were just wasting our time for a while there, and I'm glad we stuck it out and kept looking. It even occurred to me that refusing to give up when everything seems hopeless might be a type of courage too. Of course, if I had been alone, I would have surely given up. I wouldn't have had the courage to keep going if not for Marta, Rain, Genus, and Tenebrae, and most importantly Regal, if we're being honest. Our only true other party member. Alright, now we can go and cure Berg.
Marta here! Emil, I'm not sure if you realize it, but I think you were the one who was the most adamant about not giving up when we were looking for the rosemary. So have some self-confidence. You're getting braver all the time, okay? So, thanks to the strong effects of the rosemary that Emil found, with all of her help, of course, Berg was back to full health. Nearly right after he regained consciousness, he ran off to the prison to attest to Regal's innocence. Come on, let's go after him. We always need to talk to him to learn more about the fire.
We got to the prison, Regal had been freed. And you know, he looked like really handsome, refined, quite the distinguished gentleman, even though he was still in his prison robes. He said he was embarrassed to still be wearing a prisoner's uniform, called it, and went to the inn to change clothes, which gets weird because he almost immediately gets out of it,
Yeah,
like 2 towns later.
2 times later, he changes back into them.
But to tell the truth, there's something a little sexy about wearing a prison uniform. If anyone asks about this entry, You never saw it.
You wrote that? Did you write this in here to make Emil jealous? Like, she knows Emil reads these, right? We met up with Regal in front of the inn. We managed to get some good information from Regal about Lloyd. He was last seen heading for Flanor. That's where we were going next, and we got sidetracked. So
Very
all that
convenient.
stuff about us getting ahead of him and not being one step behind him, well, I was wrong.
It's also gonna get even more bullshit.
Uh-huh. Even though Regal had come to Azul for work-related reasons, he seemed to become very concerned about Lloyd after hearing about him. After we told him of our journey, he asked if we would let him join up with us. Reen and Genus both vouched for Regal, and he seems very polite and honest and sexy as hell, so Emma and I quickly agreed. Now we have another companion in our party. It sort of worries me that they're all old friends of Lloyd. But on the other hand, it seems like if we come face to face with Lloyd, the best way to get him to hear us out and give us the chorus would be to have people who know him with us. Now, considering what happened in the tree at Ruins, might not help at all.
Might be a dumb plan.
Well, this might be dumb. Well, anyway, the ship should be able to leave the town now, so we should go to Flanor as soon as we can. We're not going to do that, though.
Nope. When we got to the harbor, Emil suggested we should do something about the arsons. Are they really arsons if they're caused by a monster? Before we leave Azul, I was so surprised. I mean, the criminal is a light frog. What are we gonna do? Slap some handcuffs on him? But Emil said that he wanted to somehow stop the light frog from causing
Send
any
it to
more
frog
fires.
jail. Frog jail. Frog jail.
Send him to frog jail. Hearing him say this, I suddenly felt very ashamed. All this time, I've been thinking about the town's fires as someone else's business, and nothing I should really care about. Emil is so considerate. I'm falling in love with him more and more every day. But with the news that Lloyd's gone to Flanor, and the fact that we can't waste any time in getting the remaining Centurion's cores, we decided to split up into two groups. Rain and Genus will go do nothing, while Regal stays behind in Azul with us to investigate the Light Frog.
And do nothing.
And also do nothing, I guess. I was sad to see Rain and Genus go soon after I realized that half-elves aren't really that bad.
Fuck you, Mara.
But I'm sure we'll see them again, like way later, weirdly later. Rain and Genus are getting good luck from the Centurions, or Rain and Genus, good luck getting the Centurion's core, but make sure not to touch it.
We never go anywhere near it.
It's dangerous.
We never get anywhere near the core. What
Nope.
on earth do Rain and
What
Genus
do they do?
What do they do?
Alright, it's up to us to investigate what exactly causes the Light Frog to start fires around the town. Let's go check the sites of previous fires first and take literally forever to figure out it's the seafood gels.
After a lot of investigation, we learned that seafood gels are present in all of the places where there have been fires. This led us to the conclusion that the Light Frog had absorbed large amounts of energy from eating gels, and this energy was released in the form of bright light and heat. But Tenebrae insisted that it's ridiculous that a Light Frog would enjoy eating gels. Emma lost his temper and entered Ratos mode. He said he was going to use seafood gels to lure the Light Frog out of hiding. Emil is a very angry person when he's in Ratos mode. But Emil is normally way too restrained, so as long as his Ratos mode doesn't go too far, I think it's okay.
He's a dirty cop, but he gets results.
He's manly now. Berg is the only one who can make seafood gels, so we're going to his house to talk to him.
We went to Berg to ask for some seafood gels, but he told us they had been all incinerated in the recent fires. God, yeah, wow, this chapter took fucking forever.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said he would make us some seafood gels if we brought him jellyfish. He needs it to make them. The Oasis in Triet should be the nearest place around here where we can find jellyfish, which means we have to go all the way back to Triet. Helping people sure is a pain in the neck.
We managed to catch a jellyfish and Triet, Heart! I feel like drawing lost little hearts right now. Heart, 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 heart. Heart! I'm so glad we came to Triet. Not let's hurry back to Azul and get Brooke to make us some seafood gels, hearts.
This is Emil. When I asked Marta if she preferred guys like Regal, it wasn't like I was jealous or anything. I just, curious, that's all. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
Now, see, that's a fine way to write that.
Yeah.
Like
that's better than
that's
just...
better than going, I was jealous of Regal.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got back to Azul and gave the ingredients to Berg, and he got right to work making the seafood gels. We thought it'd be dangerous to try our experiment in his house, so we asked him to bring the seafood gels to the harbor once he'd made them. At the harbor, Berg came with the freshly made seafood gels. We placed them on the ground and watched, and before long, a light frog appeared. Just as we predicted, the light frog ate the gels and gave off a large amount of heat. So long as the town doesn't use any seafood gels for a while, or just to be safe, any gels at all, the fire should stop altogether. Now we can go to Flanor, where a massacre has just happened. Ho-ho!
We maybe could have stopped.
Yup!
Hi, Marta here. I'm a little ashamed at how out of it and useless I was on the ship, so I'm gonna write this entry in the travel journey, even though it's not quite my turn to write it. You have turns?
I guess so.
When we arrived in Flanor, the city was in ruins, and countless people were lying injured in the streets. The townspeople said that Lloyd had done this. Regal seemed pretty shocked. Emil started to lose his temper again, and I was kind of surprised too. I always thought of Lloyd as our enemy, but after getting to know so many of Lloyd's friends, and see what nice people they are, I guess their unfaltering trust in Lloyd was starting to rub off on me a little.
Something even more shocking happened next. We ran into Lloyd in Flanor. Regal asked if Lloyd was the one who attacked Flanor. But just like back at the tree at Ruins, Lloyd refused to give any answers for no reason and ran
This
off.
is literally no reason, because even if you take Lloyd's, I couldn't tell you about Ratatoss because the monsters would tell him and blah blah blah. Why couldn't Lloyd have just gone,
Nah, mate, this wasn't me.
it wasn't me, and run off?
Yup.
There is literally no reason for Lloyd to not tell you that he isn't the one going around
Yup.
killing people.
Even just being like, no, that wasn't me, and everyone else being like, we don't believe you, and then kind of like leaving it at that would have been a bit better. But no, Lloyd is just like, nah, and then he walks off.
Yeah?
Regal said that he wasn't the Lloyd he knew, and he asked us to let him continue to travel with us so that he could learn why Lloyd had changed and how he could help him. Regal's words really impressed me. He's such a good friend. Or maybe it's just a reflection of Regal's selfless personality. Even after being betrayed by someone, he still wants to help him. I don't think I could do that for someone who betrayed me. I tried
Oh, no.
once, though.
Not your daddy. Never mind.
Uh-oh, he said the magic word.
Said the magic word.
Sorry, never mind about that. It's not important. Anyway, of course we welcome Regal into our party with open arms, and I wish that I, could become the sort of person who can believe in my friends and help them like he does. Maybe I'll be able to someday. The town of Flanor is in shambles thanks to Lloyd's attack, so we decided to split up and go around helping the townspeople. Alright, this is the time for my healing arts to shine. Here I go!
How does she have magic
Don't worry about it.
when she's not an elf?
I guess because the fake core that they put into her was actually like an X-Sphere or some shit. There was that thing about how it acts like an X-Sphere.
Yeah, but that doesn't give, like, Lloyd doesn't have any magic. It's only...
I don't fucking know.
This is Emil. Marta, if there's something that's bothering you, you can tell me about it. I think of you as my friend, and you help me so much, so I'd like to help you too. Oh, but if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, that's fine too. I searched in and around Flanor's church to see if there was anyone injured or in need of help. While I was in the church, I met a very strange person. He stank of cologne. He reeked really bad, and all he talked about was himself. He mistook me for his fan, I think. After that, he said goodbye and left. What was with him? I wasn't sure if it was worth writing about him in the journal, but he left a really strong impression.
That's one way to put it.
So I decided I might as well. We ultimately spent the entire day running around Flanor. Honestly, I'd like to stay longer helping people out. We didn't help anyone.
No, we ran around town
We
a bunch
didn't
of
help
times.
anyone, no.
That's about it.
But we can't just forget about the Centurion's Corps, so I'll need to go to the Temple of Ice soon. Come to think of it, Rain and Genus weren't in town. I wonder what happened to them.
They're dead.
I hope they're okay. Hopefully they weren't in Flanor when Lloyd attacked. But yeah, page 88. This is the first time we meet Dex,
AKA Floyd.
aka Floyd.
It looks like I didn't need to worry about Rain and Genus because they were at the Temple of Ice. It seems they had already left Flanor by the time Lloyd attacked the city. When they heard about what had happened, they both turned pale. It makes sense. It was yet another massacre at Lloyd's hands after all.
How did Rain and Genus leave before us and arrive to Flanor after us?
Well, I guess they were in Flanor and then
Went to the Temple
went
of
to the
Ice
temple
and
from
came
there.
back to
Yeah, because I think
Flanor.
they said they talked to the merchant. But yeah, the timing on it is very convenient.
Why does Lloyd have to hurt innocent people and make his friends suffer like this? It's reprehensible. They also told us something pretty troubling. An accessory seller from Flanor picked up Glockius's core thinking it was an expensive jewel. Centurion's cores are extremely powerful, and if they're held by normal people, they can warp their souls, make people extremely violent.
God, I hate that plotline.
Yep.
I hate that you just pick up a core and then you become a maniac, and the only reason this is here is to stop Lloyd from telling us shit.
Yep.
It seems that Marta and I don't need to worry about it because we have Ratatosk's protection. But the accessory seller is just a regular person, so he'll face the core's full effects. After hearing all of this, Regal said something that really surprised us. He suggested the changes in Lloyd's personality might have been caused by exposure to the Centurion's cores, and we ride that plot point for all it's worth. That might very well be the case,
No.
but I sort of get the feeling that it's something else.
Yeah.
However,
obviously.
even if Lloyd hasn't been affected by the Centurion's cores, there's no doubt that sooner or later, as long as he has any cores in his possession.
Yes, Thomas, we were supposed to think that Lloyd had been turned crazy because he picked up a core.
Yep. That they had that for quite some time.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
Yep.
For this reason, we decided to split up into two groups again. Rain and Genus fucked off again and tried to convince Lloyd to hand over his cores. The rest of us will go back to Flanor and get Glockius's core from the accessory seller. I was a little sad to have to say goodbye to Rain and Genus so soon after we rejoined them, but I guess this was our only option. Like, good luck getting the cores from Lloyd, guys.
So twice we have gone, good luck you guys to do this thing, and they didn't do the thing.
Yep. It's great. They fucking suck.
We stopped by the accessory shop in Flanor, but the shop owner with the core wasn't there. The man we talked to said that the owner couldn't find any buyers for the jewel, meaning
You know,
Glockius's
Glockius's core.
My God, you don't fucking need. You don't need that. We know what you're talking about. So we went to take him back to the Temple of Ice. We must have just missed him. It's a real pain in the butt, but it looks like we're gonna have to go all the way back to the Temple of Ice.
Oh. Chapter 4's still going, by the way.
Yeah.
The Temple of Ice has been affected by the recent unusual weather conditions as well. Not only had the temperature gotten warmer and melted all the snow and ice, but the entire temple was covered in this strange type of plant called the Celsius's Tear. The original cause for this was Ratatosk being asleep, but it seems that the accelerated growth of Celsius's Tear is due to the core of Glockius, the Centurion of Ice, being dormant. Centurion's cores possess some incredible powers.
We went to the altar where Glockius's core was supposed to be, but it wasn't there. If Lloyd had taken it, he would have put up one of those weird posters, so it probably wasn't him. I was thinking we might just have missed the accessory seller again. Regal suggested we'd been tricked.
He kind of knew the whole time.
It seems like a while back, the Flanor accessory shop owner helped Regal with something, and even though the shop should have still had the same people looking after it, he didn't recognize the old man we'd spoken to there. Of course, it might be strange to conclude we were being tricked based just on this. It would have been even stranger if supposedly gone past this accessory seller so many times without having seen him. This is a dumb plot point.
It's so dumb. It's like, I could believe that you didn't recognize, or that you thought it wasn't weird that you didn't recognize the salesman, but like the way the whole thing is written is so,
Even if we haven't been tricked, there are a lot of people after Ratos' core, and we felt like Marta might be in danger. So we've decided to go back to Flanora for now.
Just kidding.
In the end, we walked right into the Vanguard's trap. Thanks to them, Regal, Tenebrae, and I were separated from Marta. This was when I actually learned a little bit about Regal's past. And since I think Marta should know about it too, I'm going to write about it in this journal. Don't worry, I got Regal's permission. A long time ago, Regal killed a woman he loved with his own hands.
His wife.
He was so overcome with remorse that he swore never again to use his hands to fight, even to defend his own life. There's probably a lot more to the story you didn't tell me.
No shit, there's a lot more to this story.
His words really gave me a lot to think about. Makes you think. I'm sure a lot of people who might say the whole thing is a little ridiculous since he still fights only with his feet instead of his hands. But I think that Regal knew that when he decided to stop using his hands for fighting. And as far as I can tell, he is very honest and trustworthy. That's why I'm going to continue to put my trust in Regal and respect his decisions. Oh, and thanks to Regal, we broke out of the Vanguard's trap. We'll save you, Marta. Hang on!
Yeah, Regal became a kickman.
Yep.
He went to prison, actually, and then, fought with his feet, because he swore to never use his hands again. It all makes quite a bit more sense in 1 than it does here, because it's never fully
We're just
explained
getting
here.
the cliff notes, like, for no reason.
Like, basically, George, his secretary, was a fucker, sold out his wife, who was turned into a monster, by the church and the designs, so Regal...
So much has happened.
So Regal killed her. And then swore to never use his hands again, because he used his hands to kill the one he loved. Alright, how much longer are we gonna go?
Good question. I was kind of thinking around 4:30 we'd probably stop.
Well, that'll probably be like the end of chapter 4.
Or the end of chapter 4, whichever comes first.
Alright. When we finally found Marta, I came across a sight that I never even wanted to imagine happening again. Much less see in person. Richter was trying to kill Marta. Again. He's already tried to kill her
I know.
once. Wait, so was Richter the one who tricked us and led us into the trap? I ran to stop Richter, but I wasn't fast enough. Laura was killed right before my eyes, and Ratos' core was stolen. Suddenly, I couldn't see straight. I could feel rage building up inside me, along with shame and frustration. But then Marta appeared right in front of me, alive and well. Marta's death had actually been nothing more than an illusion created using something called the Giguri Ninja technique, in order to fool Richter into thinking he'd killed her. So yeah, again, we've discovered right here that there are techniques where a person could, like, imitate another person well enough that Richter didn't notice it wasn't Marta he was killing.
Yep.
But no one is gonna bring up the the possibility of a fake one. Anyway, the person who fooled Richter and saved Marta was a woman named Shina Fujibayashi. She told us she'd been in Flanor during the attack, and she witnessed the family that runs the accessory shop being kidnapped. She came to the Temple of Ice to save them, where she found us in the Vanguard's trap. Even more surprisingly, Sheena used to travel with Lloyd during the journey of world regeneration. How is this surprising? All of our companions and
everyone we've ever met in this world traveled with Lloyd at one point.
If Regal hadn't been working together with us, Sheena might not have saved Marta from Richter. I'll have to remember to thank Regal and Sheena later. Anyways, it's not safe for us to hang around in the Temple of Ice. We all hurried for the exit. But it turns out that Sheena's surprisingly clumsy, and somehow managed to fall into a trapdoor. Of course, we're going to try and help her out. She did save Marta's life after all, but really, she's a much bigger klutz than she looks. I'd also like to point out that we know in the accessory shop, people were kidnapped during the attack by Vanguard.
Yep.
So it's obviously the Vanguard who burned the town down.
Yep.
But Lloyd is supposed to be working in the Church of Martell.
Yep, it kind of like falls apart and no one ever really comments on it at all.
No.
While we were wandering around looking for Sheena, we ran into someone completely unexpected. The guy I met in the Church of Flanor, who smells like a really horrible cologne. I'm pretty sure his name is Dex. Yes, that's pronounced Dex. Don't worry about it.
That's Dex right there.
And right there with him were Sheena and Alice. It seems that Dex, in all his foul-smelling horror, is a member of the
Wait,
Vanguard.
is it not going to mention that Dex
Gave-
what looked like Marta's dad?
Yeah, I guess the whole daddy
because
wasn't brought up at all.
This is the thing. It hasn't been brought up at all. Dex used an illusion to look like Commander Brute to lure Marta away.
Into a trap, and
then when we meet him then, he looks like Brute, but then reveals that he's Dex. Like,
yeah.
The journal
doesn't bring that up even
isn't
slightly.
revealing that really important plot point.
Obviously, because that would ruin the twist if it called any attention
But that's
to
a
it.
really important plot point.
Oh my god.
That's a really important plot point to remember. Fuck.
Alice wanted to fight us, but before she could, Sheena helpfully summoned a summon spirit, which let us get away. Though I guess I don't feel too thankful, since it was her fault we were in that mess in the first place. So Sheena's a summoner. Wow. There are chosen ones, half-elves, a company president, and a summoner amongst Lloyd's friends. Nothing but amazing people. I'll bet a regular guy like me wouldn't be up to a crazy challenge like regenerating the world.
Shit, don't they even ask Sheena, like, wow, could you do something like that? And Sheena's like, no way, I couldn't, like, impersonate a whole other person. That's not a ninja technique. That's something entirely new. Like, this is a really important point that the journal is just brushing over.
Yep.
After a lot of hard work, we finally made it out of the Temple of Ice. Once we were safe, we got a chance to talk to Sheena, and it seems she's just as worried about Lloyd as the rest of his friends. Also, she seemed shocked to find out that Lloyd was behind the attack in Flanor, even though she was there at the time and had scouts
Presumably
there.
saw him?
I guess not. I can understand that. She saw the horrible sights of Flanor with her own eyes. Apparently not, though. I can't imagine that a friend of Lloyd's would want to believe that their old friend had done something like that. After we told her that Ray and Genus are following Lloyd, she told us that she wanted to join us in our journey. It seems that Sheena thinks she'll have a better chance of seeing Lloyd if she goes along with us to find the Centurion's cores, rather than going after Lloyd directly. And she said if there really is something the matter with Lloyd, she wants to knock some sense back into him. I can't help thinking what good people all of Lloyd's friends are. It makes me really envious, and I feel like Lloyd's a horrible person for betraying such good friends. Seriously, why would Lloyd act like this? I still can't think of a good answer. Oh my god, fuck off.
If only there was some potential thing that could have done this.
Right now, the most important thing for us to do is to start back at square one and look for Glacius's core. Let's hurry back to Flanor and pay the accessory shop a visit.
The old man running the accessory shop in Flanor said that his son took Glacius's core to Meltokio to see if he could sell it to a noble there. We have to go to Meltokio as soon as possible. Also, Marta, I told you in person back in town, back in the Temple of Ice. But when I thought that you died, I took it really hard. You listened when I told you not to tell me who I'm supposed to be.
No, she didn't.
And you were so considerate.
No, she didn't. You then immediately told her that you were sorry because you were wrong.
Thinking about it now, I think I said some truly horrible things to you after you told me about how much you cared for me.
Jesus. No, you established boundaries with your fucking stalker.
That's not the only reason, but I wanted to tell you, well, this is so hard. I'm embarrassed to be writing this in a journal, and it's probably not coming out right, but I take back everything I said to you in Azalea, and if you'll forgive me, I hope we can keep having a nice journey together.
Oh, we made it!
We made it.
Oh, thank God. Right on the dot.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, this journal is really bad.
Yeah? Yeah.
This journal is really, really bad. And yeah, chapter 5 is page 98 of 169. And yet, chapters 1 through 4, nothing, like, there's so little of consequence.
Oh god, like, I mean, you basically, in the first stream, we set up more or less the entire plot of the game. Of Emil meeting Marta, meeting Richter, getting the Amatosk mode, and meeting Tenebrae, and, like, basically everything after that, like everything else we read, the plot really doesn't move forward in any material way. Like,
No.
even the subplots about Lloyd, the game tells you so little about what's going on because, of course, there's only really one thing, you know? Like, usually when you're in a game and you're chasing someone, or in any story and chasing someone, little bits kind of come out piece by piece. Whereas here, every time we saw Lloyd, he was just quiet for no reason and nothing, you know, like, it doesn't give you any more plot to, like, chew on or any more, like, pieces of the puzzle to try to figure out, which means it just falls completely flat.
God, when is the next score to pick up after Ventus?
I think it's Glaucius.
It
You
might be
spend this
Glaucius.
entire time chasing the ice core. And then I think you... Because, yeah, we were at 2 for the longest time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Lloyd literally could have just said it wasn't me. Like, at any point here. There is no...
At any point, there's no reason for
It-
him not to tell you that he's not a mass murderer.
Yeah,
There's
that he's
no
not a
reason.
literal human monster.
Oh boy, so I guess the question is, do we
Do this again?
do the rest?
Or does it kind of wear out its welcome after 1 2.5 hour stream?
Right, yes, we did get Ignis.
Yeah, you get Ventus and Ignis, and then you spend a long fucking time chasing Glaucius.
Yeah. I guess, chat, did you enjoy this? Would you want the rest of the journal?
Another stream that'll probably be a bit shorter since
Yes,
we're
since
over the halfway
we're
point.
more than halfway.
Like, despite the fact that we're halfway through the chapters in the story here, we're more than halfway through the actual game.
98, we did 97. So we've got 70,
Yep.
72, 73 to go.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll probably need about 2 hours.
I would guess so. I also wonder if, like, later chapters, once we actually know the reveal, will be written in Ratatosk, or anything will ever be written in Ratatosk mode.
Arna! Enjoyed is a difficult word, but were you entertained, chat? Yeah, I am also more really curious to see, like, the rest of it, because we still haven't gotten into the meat of
Anything actually happening. Like, God, I knew that chapter 4 took fucking forever. Reading this again, oh my god, chapter 4 takes fucking forever.
And nothing, the first half of it is completely irrelevant.
Yep, everything with the light frog is completely fake. You get there and you get more Lloyd crimes, but then you spend like way too much time going back and forth from the temple.
I do think if there are any entries written by Amatosk, I read them as Sonic the Hedgehog, because I know Shadow hurts your voice. So Sonic the Hedgehog would be funny too.
I can potentially try that, yeah. I was sort of able to find some parts of the voice that wouldn't hurt, but yeah. I could do it as Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog!
Alright, then, yeah, we might make Tuesday stream the
Yep.
rest of the journal.
Yeah, right now we've sort of got a game we want to play that comes out in January.
Yeah.
So whatever we do between then and now is going to be a bit of a shorter game, but going a week off seems, or a one stream off, seems like it won't make too much of a difference. We'll also be gone for the weeks from like Christmas until like the second week of January.
Yep.
For our usual Scotland trip.
Yep. That's in a couple of weeks, so yeah, I guess we'll be back
I
on
guess we
Tuesday.
will in fact be back with
We'll be
this.
back on Tuesday with Advance Wars 2 and the rest of this journal.
Oh no.
Because I'm reading this entry and I'm already absolutely fucking...
Their relationship
Aw.
feels even worse with them writing about it, honestly.
Right? Right?
Boy howdy.
So yeah, join us on Tuesday for this entry is real strong right here.
Yep.
So Tuesday at 7 EST, we will read the rest of the journal.
Join us again next time. I don't know why I started doing a Mickey voice, but it's much easier on me.
Oh my god!
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Ho ho!